Order. First thing up is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Can I please get a motion to approve the agenda minus the approval of the October 15th committee meeting minutes, which are not available?
I second the motion.
Second.
And what exactly is this motion?
To approve the agenda without the committee meeting minutes.
Yeah, go ahead and I will go ahead and approve it for conversation.
Is there any discussion?
Just to understand, the meeting that was canceled, is this the agenda for that?
No.
This is a different one, right? Right. And so, right, and so I'm just looking at this. Okay, okay. I'm gonna just leave it for right now. I'll leave it.
All those in favor of approving the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Gordon, aye.
I'm gonna say no for later. I'll say no and I'll just deal with that later. Say
Motion fails. Or no, passes. Sorry. So we got a quorum. Sorry.
what?
Are there any public comments?
No, sir.
Okay. Right. We were asked by the board chair to move the Levico property discussion up to the first thing on the agenda. So let us begin with that.
Is the Levico property in the package?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
It's in the back.
in the very back.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm trying to find my copy.
All right, I got it. All right, I'm good.
Well, I mean, this is a topic that the committee wanted to have a conversation about. I've just provided some background information. One of the big questions, I think last time there was some question on whether we legitimately owned the property. And we have verified that it goes back to an agreement signed in 1921, I believe. So we have and outside of that, we've had this conversation before in that we have leases right now with Head Start, Beaufort Jasper EOC and Beaufort County. And I've kind of got those leases spelled out, three of them. And so with that, any questions or conversations you'd like to have?
Give you some background. The EOC is a entity that runs Headstart. And they leased mobile classrooms there long ago. It was in the 90s, I believe.
It started in 84, but yeah. Well, and they have a school built, the old school building.
In the old school building there. It's been abandoned, and they contacted me after a Sheldon County township meeting, which they have once a year. I went to the last Saturday, and he was there again, saying, "What are we doing about the property?" You know, we wanted to get. We, the EOC, wanted to sign a lease with us so that they could go into the federal government and get a grant, build a school, maybe adapt the building that's there and build onto it. 4 years ago, when this came up, Gerald Dawson and I and a couple of the staff from the county went out and walked the ground, took a look at it. And I said, you know, this county library is there. And I just noticed in here that the county library's lease, which they paid $1 for, ends the 31st of this year. And frankly, I forgot about this. And because at the time we said, well, we'd have to get the property assessed, see what it's worth, see if the county wanted to purchase it from us or whatever. But then we got this property to us from the county and the green space that's adjacent to Ladies Island Middle School. And it hit me there that, wait a minute, that's about the same size property as the property at Levico. And so we had talked 4 years ago, we said, well, maybe we could find a piece of property that we could swap. And when we were talking about that property next to Lady, there was concern by the board, by some members of the board about our liability. The county's giving us, but now we're getting liability. I thought, well, yeah, we have liability up at Levico. Why don't we give that to them and consider it a swap of titles? So they have a library there, and EOC can then negotiate with the county if they want to do something there, but that's up. We weren't really interested. I say we, Dr. Rodriguez wasn't really interested in doing that Head Start. I already have a Head Start at James H. Davis. And why have one that's close by? It's not 2 miles away from where the James H. Davis thing is. So the question for this committee is, do we go to the full board and tell them the background, and before the end of December, when the lease is up, we just go into an agreement? Here's a title to the Levico property. Here's a title that they're working on right now to give to us from through the county, from Green Space, for that property at Ladies Island. So we are shifting liability from that property up there, which we will never use, to the property that we've already approved that we're going to take on here. So that's the issue. And this discussion the committee decides to do on that, but it would be good for good faith for the county as well. So what do you think?
I think it's weird that the EOC, the Economic Opportunity Committee, is named that for if they want a Head Start build, whatever.
They've had it for a long time.
Yeah, but in doing the pre-read, okay, sure. So is the EOC the main driving force behind this swap, or the main impetus?
Well, the county would like to have the property.
So somebody on the county has already expressed interest.
Yes, Gerald Dawson. Gerald Dawson would like to see a community center there. And the operations staff at the county would like to see that also serving as a traffic control place as they bring population back into the county after close down for a hurricane. That'd be a good place to have a kind of like a headquarters that could control the traffic before it got over the Whale Branch Bridge. So there is, and Gerald Dawson wants the land, he's the councilman for that district.
Right.
When you're ready, Leah, Frazier's hands up.
Mrs. Frazier.
So, two things. Have we decided to agree to the green space? Second, isn't the green space supposed to be not built upon? So how does that benefit EOC?
It's not a build upon. We're not planning on build on what the green space is giving us. It's just going to be there, and we may use it, the open area for a.
But we haven't
nature
decided
walk.
on that to be a liability, so I don't understand why it's being used as an opportunity to switch land.
We did decide to take the green space.
How is this a win?
The EOC wouldn't have anything to do with
Yeah.
the swap.
No. It's the swap of liability is we are taking the liability of somebody traps in on the, picnicking on the green space and breaking an ankle. That's the liability we're taking on. And we're dumping the liability of having the property at Libico that we're not doing anything with, which somebody else could do the same thing on right now. We're giving that to the county so they can turn it into whatever they want to develop. But you're right, it's not an even swap because we can't develop our property, but they can develop theirs if we give them the Libico property, if that's what you're getting at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, we bought this property in 1921 for probably $200. We have invested nothing in that property. That property is not an asset for us at all. It's a liability. This property by Ladies Island Middle School will be an asset for us, for the kids to use or the school to use. So, and we could ask the county to pay the $200, but why bother? If we can and it's been done before, transfer property.
It sounds like we're doing the county a favor. And if they want the land, maybe they can offer something more than $200 or a swap of liability.
Well, yeah.
Or maybe we should look into doing something at the Libico.
Doing something where?
With the Libico property.
We have looked at that. The superintendent looked at that. He's looked at that property. He said, it's not big enough for us to use. It's only about 4 or 5 acres. And we've had it since 1922 and we haven't done anything with that property. Other than have the Head Start come in and then the county library come in, which they pay us $1 a year for the lease.
So, I mean, if the county takes it over, are they going to get rid of the library?
Oh, no, that library will stay there.
Yes. Plus they want to maybe put a community center there. Mr. Smith, you had a comment?
First, let's go back to a comment. When we first got started with this meeting, Mr. Otting said that we asked him for this to be on the agenda. Who's we?
Mr. Nay, I know that there's also talk of it being on the work shop agenda, but I believe Mr. Nay asked me to bring this information.
Okay, because I'm on the committee side. I just wasn't aware of us when you saying that y'all asked for us to put this on the agenda. So that's why I'm not. When you said these, okay, so the chair of the committee asked you to put this on as an item on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I just want to be understand, why we have this before us today. Because I know I didn't have. Okay, so thanks for that clarification. Off the top of my head, I definitely do have some concerns in terms of the same thing that Mrs. Frazier brought up. And I've heard what my colleagues have said at this table in terms of the property swap. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in the property swap. If I look around the room today, we got in the hospital.
Novanto.
We have Novant here who got some money to throw at us. We have a whole bunch of different things going on. Just casually, bring that in there. But in all seriousness, if we have the Head Start at the Well Branch Elementary, we have Head Starts at St. Helena Elementary School, and we have Head Starts at Buford Elementary School, and some other entities. But if my memory serves correctly, there were some conversations that started that probably didn't take off the right way. I think we ought to possibly see if we can re-enter those conversations another way and see if we can get some things done with the property that we do have. Remember, it's 4.5 acres. There's a couple acres. The school district, I believe we can utilize that land to help serve that community and to serve EOC if they've come back to bring the conversation back up with the lease being over, because at the end of the day, we have to be good stewards of people's people's money. And obviously when we purchase that land, we purchase that land for a reason. I just do honestly believe that we can possibly work with EOC and Mr. Dawson and see how we can better serve that community, because right now what I'm hearing in the community is that there's not many things for the community to be able to have in different parts of Beaufort County. And I think out there is a different part of it, but to say that we want to give up this, we want to make a swap, I don't think that will be in our best interest as a district. In terms of looking hindsight at my first look at this point in time, I don't think that would be good for us to just say we want to make that swap. I do understand what Mr. Dawson is, what Mr. Dawson may want to pitch. I don't know the logistics of it. I haven't talked. I don't know what's been talked about, but I do think that we can make a conversation between us and Head Start, because they are one of our partners, and we do serve their kids. Their kids do come our kids one day. So we've been saying that we want to put emphasis on the younger generation, the younger kids, because we do take their numbers on. So this could be another opportunity to bring kids into our district that may know 400 or 500 words versus the 50 words. So this is the opportunity for that. So I at this point in time, I would just say, on hindsight, I don't think that now would be the time to make that. We would definitely need more information surrounding this to make a better informed decision.
Mr. Gordon, am I mistaken in thinking this is in your area?
It is in my area.
I would like to hear your opinion of the situation then.
Yeah, what I would like to do is have a conversation with Mr. Dawson first, just to see where he's actually at with it, just to have a kind of detailed conversation with him. And I know the area that we're talking about swapping, is that York Glover's area?
Yes.
Okay. I was just trying to, and only thing we're doing, we just having a conversation. This swap has not come up yet. We're just talking, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I would love to have a conversation with York, with Gerald, just to see where his head is at.
Mr. Carr, I haven't heard anything from you yet. Do you have no opinion on the situation?
Well, I've given a couple of the concerns, and I think the conversations with members of the council would be just make sure we're all on the same page. I think would be wise.
If I could add just a couple of clarification points, because we had this conversation several years ago, and just so everybody knows kind of what some of the issues are. The issues are that we have these agreement with Head Start. The county was interested in taking over and owning it. There's a shared septic field, and due to the size of the property, I really can't split it. So there wasn't a way back then to say, all right, we're going to divide it down the middle. County, here's your piece. Head Start, here's your piece. So whoever owns it has to deal with both entities for the most part. And so I just want, and you can't break those apart. Whoever owns it's going to become the leasee to Head Start, or take on the leases that we currently have. So just wanted to add that little bit of information.
Mr. Smith, you have another comment?
Yes, sir. I also in terms of this idea of swapping, let's not compare apples to oranges, because the county came to us because the owner in the green space came to the county saying that, listen, we want to purchase this land. We want to go through you and purchase this land and give it to you. And the county came and said, look here, we want to give you this land to maintain and to have that's by your school. So to me, I don't want to begin to go, as I say, I don't want to say tit for tat or in terms of giving and taking something. I don't want to get into a back and forth of we giving y'all this, because at the end of the day, I believe we're all in the business of serving people. So I just, I just want to be careful how we, as in we owe you a favor. Hey, that's when, remember, we owe y'all, because at the end of the day, we're all in the business of people. And these, people take certain things and turn and twist it. So we don't want to, I don't think that's not the black eye that we would want. So I just think that straight up businesses is where we want to stick with. So if they like Mrs. Fraser said, they want to purchase it, that's something different, and I'll just leave that there. So I'm just not comfortable with the business of the you give me this, I give you that in terms of dollar amount right now. Thank you. Well, land, not dollar amount, land. Thank you.
So if I'm reading the room, table it until we can have a discussion with county representatives and talk about what they perceive as their future for the property. Yes,
Ms. Boatwright's hands up.
Mrs. Boatwright.
Thank you. I also think Frank needs to be in this conversation because as a superintendent, I'd like to know, he might have plans or uses for the property or concerns about the sale. So I think if we're going to bring in county council, we should bring in our employee, our superintendent.
Agreed.
Well, and also at this time, just an FYI, I think that council was talking, Ms. Boatwright. I don't think that no one mentioned the county administrator at this time. So I think it was just more of council versus council having a like lines of conversation, because I'm sure his staff's gonna go back and tell him. So I just don't want to say that we didn't leave him out. I mean, I think right now we're just talking in terms of high side of as the top coming up with the with the plan to take back to either county administrator and superintendent to understand what should be executed. Thank you.
All right, any other discussion on this? Dave Brown's going once, going twice. Good. Moving on to OE1.
Are we skipping over Novant Health?
Oh, no, sorry. Apologies. So what are the reason I cut that off?
All right, actually, I'll let all of y'all come to the table and I will move out of your way.
Thank
I believe, are y'all you want to join as well? You're sure? All right. I'm gonna let the members around the table introduce themselves because I couldn't. And I'm gonna hand it off to you, but basically, they have come to us in a request for an easement to tie to WK Austin, specifically with I believe water connection. So and stormwater, I believe. Correct. So if y'all introduce yourselves and then y'all can have the floor.
Sure. All right, I'll start. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Joel Taylor. I'm the market president for Novant Health Hilton Head Market. I been in the area for 9 years, and our hospitals became part of Novant Health about 18 months ago. And so this project and how it really relates to the committee today, we have purchased 14.5 acres here in Beaufort, right in front of Robert Small's school. And our desire is to start a freestanding emergency department there on the site, as well as a primary care clinic in all likelihood as well. And so I'll let Connor and Steve talk the specifics about the connections and the easement that we're seeking. But Novant Health has come into our state and into the area to expand access. And this is one of those pursuits. So
Steve Kleiber is here with Meadows and Oley, part of the owner's representative team. I'm Connor Blaney with Ward Edwards Engineering, the civil engineer on behalf of this project, excited about this project. And as Robert alluded to, we submitted plans, a traffic study, a narrative, and essentially that parcel just south of Robert Small's Leadership Academy, Novant Health has purchased. They're pursuing the development Joel just outlined. As part of that development, we've had discussions with the city of Beaufort, with SCDOT. We've been informed and advised to propose a rear access connecting to the 4,000 Margaret apartment complex all the way over to WK Austin Drive with utilities and drainage. The drainage allows the site to, instead of discharging directly into the southernmost pond on Leadership Academy's site, bypass it and discharge downstream. The water connection, BJWSA is emphasizing and encouraging dual connections to enhance overall system pressure. This will allow both the school and the healthcare facilities to have increased pressure to their water line systems. And then ultimately the access, we're proposing the access south of the bus loop onto WK Austin Drive. SCDOT is in agreement with this approach, and it allows left-hand signalized access at the existing signal. One thing that these plans don't show that we are committed to doing and have already updated the plans since making this submittal is adding a 5-foot sidewalk along the entire length of that access. I think that creates a really good opportunity to enhance pedestrian and safe access to the school if you're in that adjacent complex. But we have the team of people here. We're happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I have a question. Could you show me on the map where that sidewalk, how it's gonna run?
We have proposed it on the north side of the road, and then it will turn the corner up WK Austin Drive and connect to the existing sidewalk near the bus access. So you'll have continual access.
The whole length of that drive and then go up WK Austin.
Yes, and hit the existing sidewalk.
Okay.
It's, Mr. Gordon,
Hello?
did you catch that?
That or understand it?
No, I didn't quite understand it. One more
All right.
time.
Do you see the map in front of you?
Yes,
Screen. So there's what you notice. So that football stadium in the top middle of the screen that's
Right.
Robert Stevens football stadium. That
Right.
drive that runs, that's the bus drive
Got
into
you.
the school. So
got
what
you.
they're talking about, and so you see that runs into WK Austin.
Right,
Everything south of that is what they're talking about developing, and then so you see a road that goes from WK Austin all the way over to that apartment complex.
right,
They're talking about putting a sidewalk on the top part of that road, all from one end to WK Austin, and there's already sidewalk on WK Austin.
There is. We will need to turn the corner just 50 feet or so
Yeah.
to connect it.
Gotcha.
okay. Okay, I see it. I see it now. I see it.
Ingrid's hands up.
Mrs. Boatright.
I was waiting for the committee, but since there was an uncomfortable silence, I thought I'd jump in. I'm sure the gentleman from Ward Edwards know that we have been somewhat opposed to running easement through basically essentially the backside of Walmart onto WK Alston at the request of the Water Something Apartments. It's a lot of apartments going in that little area there, and I have some concerns about 170. But I do think this proposal is superior to the Water Apartments. I forget, Water Rock Terra. I don't know. The Water something. There you go. Thank you. Because they are out of the gate offering housing for teachers. I think the sidewalks are a nice addition. I also, think that a medical facility that might have some benefits for the students potentially with maybe some in-school type arrangements or, different things like that. So I think this is a superior request. The concerns I have though are still the same. And what I brought up with the other apartment easement is traffic calming through that area. Because if you're thinking about an emergency room and someone's in labor and they're racing to the ER, and you got kids on that sidewalk, like, is there a proposal to put in speed bumps, a roundabout, something to kind of keep that traffic from flying through, essentially adjacent to the track and field there?
We can absolutely consider that. The ambulatory route is primarily to function within the right and right out directly off of Highway 170. However, we understand the proposed use. When people have an emergency, they're going to be driving fast, and we can absolutely consider traffic calming and speed bumps along the back.
But from my vantage point, that's very reasonable and appropriate. I would say just maybe a little bit of information and context on a freestanding emergency department. So Novant Health has one south on 170, south from this site on 170. Ambulance traffic is somewhere in the range of 1 to 2 a day. So it is largely what we consider kind of ambulatory cars. We would expect somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 cars a day at most. But I do like the idea of speed deterrence devices. Yes.
Mr. Audine, has anybody from our transportation department taken a look at this, weighed in on it? I would like to know, I mean, I know there was a traffic study done, but I would like to know, I mean, this is it gonna be 24 hours as an
Yes,
emergency?
sir. It'd be-
So like, I mean, what's gonna happen to traffic during our peak times when we have pickup line and all buses and all that kind of stuff? I don't know how many, what's the volume of people you participate, that, you know, gonna be, that you anticipate are gonna be here every day? At these buildings. I mean, are we talking, you know, 1 or 2, 6? I mean, that's not making money, but you know, if you got 70 people a day there, you know, or 80 or 100 people a day there, then that starts to pick up on traffic. And then the traffic off of, you know, the ingress on 170 is maybe the primary, but everybody's still coming down WK Austin to get in there on the back route also, or trying to leave that way. If they're not able to turn out on 170 because they're going to go to the light. Right. So and now they're competing with buses and our pickup traffic. So that's where I have a big concern.
Yeah, we want, first and foremost, we want to be good neighbors. And so Ms. Boatwright's comment about, you know, is there a relationship with the schools? I'm going to look to the educators to see how we can partner, but that's certainly something we're interested and willing to do. I would say this, as being part of Novant Health, we've never been more active in our pursuit of working with local school district, local universities and colleges as well. In terms of the volume of patients and visitors, I can ballpark it, but I understand the request to have the county transportation department look at it. So,
Not the county. We have a transportation director.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
To answer your question, no, they have not, but I don't mind going over it with them.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to know what their opinion of what that would do to our traffic pattern would be. Yes, Mr. Gordon.
What's the size of your facility that's going to be built?
so the freestanding emergency department is scoped at 11,600 square feet. The primary care office is scoped at 5,500 square feet. We're early designs effectively.
When you say freestanding, what exactly does that mean?
So, to the question, so it's an emergency department staffed 24/7 by board certified physicians, ready and prepared for any emergency or urgent care need that a person would have. The difference is it's not immediately adjacent to a hospital, but it has dedicated imaging equipment, lab, and staff 24/7.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Smith.
Basically, I like that one on underway going to Hilton Head that sits over there, says emergency. Will it be the exact, is that what it is?
That is what it is in terms of function. It'll be a different building design, but
Right.
yes, sir. That was the area's first freestanding emergency department.
Okay, that's kind of, when you said that, that's what my logic came. That's what I was thinking. I was going to ask you that question.
Yes, sir.
Also, hearing this on the first, and within the first spill. Well, but yeah, let me back up. Let me ask you this: what's different about, in terms of where we are versus what the other apartment complex? What did they, in terms of what did they ask for exactly? In terms of what's different about their plan versus their plan? Let's understand that.
Well, I mean, the request is very similar. They need an easement to tie in. Now, they have their own tie-in for driveway. They have to tie into some utilities on this, what they're requesting, correct? Is that correct? The other one, a lot of the concern is the connection to Walmart and what the impact may be on WK Austin. I believe that's what the board has discussed, is there's some concern there of it being a cut through for Walmart and other traffic, has been a lot of that conversation. So this property obviously is on the other side of the road. It does not connect to Walmart. It does connect to an apartment complex. And it has another difference, I would say, is this has its own drive onto 170. Now, there's already a right in and right out on 170. So if you're on 170, at least if you're coming from Beaufort, you don't need to get on WK Austin. And if you're leaving this area and if you're heading away from Beaufort, or I guess you could turn around and go back, but you don't have to go on WK Austin. So specifically, if you were headed to Bluffton area, you're not gonna get on WK Austin. So those are the differences.
Well, my first thought is this is a first meeting you came to the table with some different things, and what the ask is on our part of it. I'm not sure what that is, because this is kind of, to be bluntly honest, this is my first time kind of looking at this. Glanced at it, but this is and I wanted more of that. I wanted to hear what you guys were having, what your pitch was. So to say what the ask would be in terms from me at this moment, I would digest it. I don't like to make this, I call these $1 billion decisions just on the peak of a moment. I like to sleep and digest it and probably walk in and understand exactly, to see exactly what we could possibly need. Right off, I can think of a couple of things, but I will wait and see if my colleagues have anything. But I think this is a great start, and I have watched you guys, the Navant Hospital. I've watched you guys get out of the community, and you guys have been visible. And so, if we can make this work, I'm more open-minded to it, then I will be with anyone. Same way I would be with anyone. The ask, I'm not sure what my ask would be in terms of, but I do. But let me say this up front: I do not believe in just giving away easements, because where I'm from, Beaufort County, easements cost. And so, being a good steward of taxpayers' money, we just that you guys just heard us talk about in terms of swapping land. I do believe in giving the taxpayers their due diligence in terms of giving right of ways and so on. I'm sure you guys are prepared to do that. So I'll just leave it there.
No, I'm good.
Mrs. Boatright.
Hey, I just wanted to say, I agree with Mr. Smith. I mean, this is, and Mr. Gord for that matter, there's a lot of documents and maps, and it's hard to really get a handle on what exactly is being asked for. And in all honesty, my initial reaction was, goodness, that's a lot of apartments and a lot of traffic into that school envelope. And I have been extremely protective of the school envelope since I've been on the board. But I think one thing, to Mr. Smith's point, and when we have sat down, he and I have served on operations for a long time together. He is always looking to leverage the school board, which I agree with wholeheartedly. And I think one thing to point out, which we always bring up, is the affordable housing issue. So that's an issue right there, because Novant is building affordable housing at a much more efficient pace than some of our government colleagues. But the other thing is, I think it's interesting, when I was at MUSC, before coming on the board, one of the things that was really an emerging field, especially in places like South Carolina that are considered a little more rural, is school-based healthcare. And I think there's when you're looking at an easement for purely developers who are trying to rent apartments, it's a little more transactional. When you've got, a community partner, a nonprofit who's there, who's serving the community, it's a little bit of a different land for me. But I think also there are some really exciting possibilities, because that's one of our larger schools north of the Broad. It's K-8. I know that there's a lot of things that are being done at the state level to encourage school-based care, immunizations, well visits, even some telehealth, some simple things. And so there are some really exciting opportunities for partnerships. So I think for me, I'm considering this a little bit differently. And to address Mr. Smith's concerns, I agree with them wholeheartedly. But I do think that we have to separate out a developer trying to build and sell apartments looking for an easement to working with someone that wants to partner with us in the community to serve the community members. And I know Novant's been doing that. So I think there's actually some pretty cool ideas that we could kick around as we move this thing along with the board. So I just wanted to point that out.
think we are gonna have to worry about traffic on WK Austin. Anybody trying to turn left out of that is not gonna be able to turn across 170, so they're gonna go over to WK Austin to get to the light.
I would.
Yeah, so,
Well, it's right out too.
Yeah.
You'd have to go up, turn around, or do a U-ears.
yeah, so, yeah, I'm not sure. Something's gonna have to, yeah, whatever. Okay, so, what does success look like? What does moving forward look like on this?
I mean, a motion from the board to, to grant it would be one way to move forward. If you're not ready for that, I'd suggest that you ask for some information from these gentlemen. So to me, that's your two options. Well, you can approve it, deny it, ask for more information.
All right.
I don't think that this time that we are ready to, like I said, I'm not, it don't sound like, I'm not sure, I'm not ready to move. So I would just think that at this time that, this is our first look, to be respectful, and for us to be all good stewards, I think we should continue to have the conversation until we get to the point to where we are ready to digest this and ready to make moves and to actually make a motion to have some conversations right now. I think that maybe this may be a discussion that we revisit, but at this point in time, I don't think no one, unless you're an architect and you just want to. We're not making that decision today. I don't believe that we are. Let me say that I don't think we are. I think that we ought to continue to have these conversations. We do appreciate you bringing this forward, and I believe that the board, that my possible colleagues are looking forward. I'll let them talk, say where they're at. But I believe that we all are, sound like we're in favor of the opportunities that this could possibly bring and the things that this could possibly change in our community to help us out. I think that we're all looking forward to that. But today, I don't think that any of us is, I'm not ready to move forward with the motion on this, but I would like to continue having this conversation and dialogue to where we can get to a point where we can seal this deal. I'll leave it there.
Your hand is up.
Mrs. Frazier.
To make it beneficial, give them the issues that we have, so the next time that they do come back, we can move this along. They know exactly what we're concerned about.
So, what I've heard so far is traffic calming options. So if you could come back with some traffic calming options, I'd like to see an alternative traffic pattern. So we're not interrupting our drop off and our buses. So what can we do as far as an alternative traffic pattern that maybe doesn't use WK Austin at all? Unless you're going to figure out a way to either widen that. But again, that's where we have to pull in our own traffic director and find out if they believe what this is going to have an impact. And then we're also talking about what are our options for in-school healthcare.
May I ask for clarifications on alternative for traffic patterns? Is that temporary during pickup and drop off hours of the school operations? Or is that as a?
Well, it wouldn't be temporary because it happens 5 days a week.
The timing?
Yes.
Okay.
During the pickup and drop off.
So like temporary barricades during those hours or wayfinding signage or something like that, or a formal disconnect of not utilizing?
I don't know. I would say come with 3 COAs and then see what happens. I like options. Board members likes options. So like come up with 3 courses of action about what would be a traffic option or traffic options. I think one of them could be a disconnect from WK Austin, unless we can figure out how to mitigate the traffic along with our pickup and drop off and our buses.
May I ask a clarifying question as well, just kind of a process standpoint, because I appreciate that the schools have a traffic planner engineer. Is that something we could also speak with trying to find this? Does that make sense in the process? If it doesn't, that's okay. I'm just trying to, when we come back, to be able to, answer your question and your point earlier, say, okay, we vetted these 3 options and it makes sense from the school system traffic planner. Yeah, and I don't want to overstep.
We actually, transportation is meeting tomorrow. They've not seen this, or I will do this with, and if there are any comments, I'll let Connor know.
Okay.
Those comments.
Great.
And then, I mean, maybe even have them come back to the next, committee meeting.
If we need to, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Get your questions. All right, so we got at least those three things: traffic calming, alternative traffic patterns, 3 COAs, and then possibilities for in-school health. Anything else?
And also, are you guys familiar with our MedTech? We have a MedTech 7 program.
I'm aware of it,
Okay.
as in, but I don't know the intricacies of it.
Okay. In terms of something like that as well, would be kind of interesting and definitely a selling point. This MedTech 7 ran by Randy. That is kind of, but the actual the owner of that, who's the owner there? Who's the owner of that, or what is that? What medical entity?
But Dr. Stratos kind of is the main person over at that and change management.
Okay, and the reason why I'm asking for clarification, because just I think any opportunity that you can bring our students to help or to be able to get like on the job channel, like on the job training. I know also that through ACE we have some people now. I saw a young lady the other day. She was tripping me out. She was on the scenes, and I remember seeing her in the ambulance, working in the EMS class at ACE, and now she's actually in EMS on the road. So things like that where we can work together and make the community better. I'll definitely consider an option like that too. Will definitely be something to help it. We can make the taxpayer a little ease in terms of getting you guys to work us working together.
Okay, define a plan. I hear you.
Thank you.
All right, so possible MedTech partnership.
I
All right.
think educational opportunities.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
We could go in a lot of different directions.
Correct. I agree with that.
Anything else? Stay around, one, twice. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
All right, appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Sorry.
Thanks.
Right as Phil.
No worries. No worries. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you all.
You have the table now?
Good meeting. Now we're on to OE1.
Good evening, everyone. I know you guys have a lot of stuff to get through. In the interest of time, are you good if I go through OE1 and OE11 at the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
Because they are very similar. Perfect. So before I start, I want to talk about OE1 is global operational expectation. OE11 is communicating with the public. And this is the communications department that was very excited to be part of the strategic plan. The previous strategic plan, communications really didn't have a place to live in it. And obviously we would like the structure and the goals. And so on the new strategic plan, there's the support pillar, the engagement pillar, achievement, stewardship, which I know you all know. But this year I was really happy that we were able to focus on the engagement pillar, and we made a real effort to align our OEs with the engagement pillar. And some of that came through, like Dr. Campbell, Alice Jerry knows, she's really good at aligning her things to the strategic plan. And so we're kind of following her lead on that as well. So in terms of OE1 is take reasonable measures to protect the district's public image, and OE11 is the superintendent shall ensure the public is adequately informed about the condition and direction of the district. So again, both of these follow the second pillar, the engagement pillar, and that pillar is to build district-wide culture of pride, trust, and respect, align new and existing community and parent partnerships, and ensure staff, families, students, and the community have timely access to information and engagement opportunities. So in terms of building a district-wide culture of pride and respect, building on the success of the district's new logo, the communications department implemented a strategic branding project, which I know you are all familiar with, the Go Public campaign, which we're excited about. And we need to compete this day and age with charter schools and private schools. There's just a lot of choices. We want people to know that we're the best choice. We continue to keep everyone informed of important matters and initiatives through the district's 30-plus school websites, news releases, email messaging, YouTube videos, social media, and robocall communications. One thing we also do a lot is we handle emergency situations that range from, there could be a leak in the building. There could be, we've had, a tornado concern during drop off in the morning, all sorts of things like that. And we handle that through text messaging, emails, all sorts of ways to do that through the media as well. I think it's important to note that in terms of fostering district trust and transparency, the clock, even though it's been around since 2019, it just continues to really be a solid force. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. And all of their documents are on the website. The other thing we've done this year is we've been a lot better on having quarterly meetings for district office staff to keep everybody informed on that front as well. So they kind of know what's coming down the pike. Dr. Rodriguez can answer questions. And when I talk a lot about internal communications, it's very, very important. And I know Alice agrees with this too. Like, we have 3,000 employees and we need them to be informed and for them to be ambassadors too and feel like they're part of the team. So we have been focusing on that. Very, very fortunate. We had a great hire. I think I might have told you all this already, but our new internal communications and events person is Lee Copeland. She was at Technical College for 19 years. She's wonderful and it's been a great asset to our team. So there's going to be some exciting things coming down the pike already. She's done, even in her short time here, she's done some really great things. We have the internal employee newsletter that comes directly formatted to people's email inboxes. The read rate on that is there's 6,000 clicks. So that's about 2 clicks per employee, which is very, very high. And also our intranet, she has revamped that as well. We have a lot more things on there, like things to do in the community where you can get discounts, things like that. And that's really important for our young teachers that are coming here and just need to feel connected. Here. The other thing too, in terms of transparency, as you guys know, our FOIA responses are all posted to the website. So that is extremely transparent. The one thing that was kind of neat this year, because of our district's successful cell phone policy communications, we were asked to present at the INSPRA National Conference. It was dialing into compliance, developing and implementing a new cell phone policy. This conference was in Washington, D.C. And it was I will say it's really neat. We went to this conference and a lot of the programs that we went to, the sessions, like Beaufort County School District was already doing those things. And that's a really good feeling when you go and you're able to see that. I think you don't think of South Carolina always as being at the forefront of things, but Dr. Rodriguez is really, really good at keeping us there. And so we're very, very fortunate to be able to do what we do. Another thing that we have that's going to be launching in January, but we were busy developing this year, is our Partners in Education program. We will, again, have our big launch in January. I do have some of these if anybody wants to take some and hand them out. It's basically just way to get business partners engaged, people in the community engaged, speaking to a class or career group, mentoring a student, hosting a field experience or tour, providing supplies or sponsorships, supporting events and celebration. This is something the board has been asking for a while, to engage our community partners and our businesses. So we're really happy to be starting with this. We're going to have a newsletter for our community partners, and we have the template for that already to go. And we're also doing a mailing to businesses across the county. And obviously talking with schools. Schools already have some partners. So we're kind of getting all that organized this year, which we're excited about. We also, our volunteer program, there's some of these. If y'all wanted to take any of these too, you're welcome to take some of these over there. Are looking at a new platform for our volunteers. The one that we're interested in is Volley, and it has an app. It's the one program that has what y'all were interested in, was the public facing dashboard. So somebody can come and go to the website and say, I'm interested in this school. What does this school have that I might be interested in, whether it's a gardening club or whatever. But it did take some legwork to find that platform, but that's what we're planning on moving forward with on that. you guys know, I think we have the BCSD University that we launched in 2023, which is a program. It's kind of like a Beaufort Leadership Program, but it's for the district. And community members can be part of that program, and they learn about each division of the district, because people really don't realize like what a big kind of machine this is here. And we've had some good conversations with the people that even attended. Alice's team, you know, did a presentation. People just don't understand the scope, and it kind of gives them some insight to that. This year, we're expanding the program to University of South Carolina Beaufort's Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. So it'll be offered to their people, and then we'll go during the days, still once a week, and have our courses there. So that'll be a nice expanded reach, I think. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. Yeah, I think it's also important to note that Dr. Rodriguez, he accepts all invitations to go speak with any political groups or any community groups, regardless of affiliation, and which I think he does meet people where they are. And we've been very successful with that. He gets a lot of invitations, and again, always makes it work to go meet with these different people. We have our BCSD Connected Engagement platform on the website. This year, we did the Mass Communication and Classroom Communication platform. That was the survey to get input on what kind of, we're replacing Bright Arrow, our messaging system, to get feedback from parents as to what they wanted. We went through the RFP process on that. As a result, we're going to be launching Parent Square. That's going to be coming out in January. That is something I think that Rachel Wisniewski had been wanting for a while, was to have one platform for all things for parents to have. So if you have 3 kids, you don't have Blooms and Class Dojo and all this, you have one thing. So that's our next thing we're going to be launching, which we're excited about that as well. And district website had nearly 900,000 page views. Just as a point of interest, the top 10 visited pages are the homepage, academic calendar, faculty staff intranet, employment opportunities, careers, student services, school counseling, that virtual calming room, Jerry, that you started, that's still up there. And the parent portal, directory, school meals, and volunteering. Our social media, we have on Facebook, we have over 26,000 people, Instagram, 2,500. Ron Lopes has been doing reels this year on social media, and they've been viewed more than 2.3 million times. So we've been increasing that as well. Let's see here. Oh, the other thing we've done, which you might have seen either in the Island News or in the Bluffton Sun, we have the BCSD Beacon. Those inserts appear. They basically have the Character Education of the Month awards, when students get different awards, athletic things. A lot of private schools will do advertising in things like that. And so we will send our press releases. So we have the inserts and we have our press releases that they print. And those are important things too. They're print, but they're hanging out on people's coffee tables. They're hanging out in, you know, waiting rooms and things like that. So it's just another way to get the word out. New this year is we had the showcase events. There's one this evening, obviously, that you guys know about. Mr. Smith, you were at the other one. So I think that's the start of something really good as well. The thing we've been talking a lot about with Dr. Rodriguez is just the scope of what we have to offer. So when we do events like this in comparison to a single charter school or to a private school, like just the breadth that we have, we're very powerful in that regard. And I think that is a strong point that we do have. I have to give a shout out to Molly Mercado, and I know I always do that when I come here, but you guys know her and she's been doing an awesome job. Even for the showcase, she made individual rack cards for all the schools. She designed the table runners for them, like name tags for all the principals with their stuff on it. So everybody has their individual school branding, but it's very consistent. And we talked with the recruiters, and they're going to have the rack cards too, so they can take them with them. So I will say on OE11, the last thing here is in terms of publishing the report card, the annual report that we have on the website. and sharing the board's results, policy, revenues, expenditures, all that. Dr. Rodriguez frequently presents to community groups on these topics. District staff makes presentations at Board of Education meetings, which you know. We distribute press releases regarding academic initiatives and fiscal matters. The community report card is posted to the website annually. We are working on the new version of that now because test scores came in late. They came in November this year. But we're adding even more things to that too. So, and I think it's important to know our financial department is really, really great at keeping their portion of the website up to date, and everything is on there and very, very transparent. Do you have any questions on these two?
Questions?
Um,
Mr. Smith?
yes. In terms of, I understand the pillows, but how, you know, I know at one time we were engaging students. We were doing the talks about we were engaging students.
Well, the student advisory,
Yeah,
we still do that. It's actually, I didn't read it right now, but Dr. Rodriguez does do that. The student, is that you're talking about the student advisory?
yeah, we hadn't done that this year.
No, he does them. He did one last week at Battery Creek. He has been doing them.
Also, but normally the board, we normally know about the student advisories.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that, I'm not sure about the process on that, but I know he does do them. He has been doing them. I can look into that for you. I'm happy to ask about it.
Well, just when we talk about these students and different things, because I've had some students that have asked me a couple questions. In fact, I was also at a board meeting where they said something. I said, well, I guess maybe it was a student advisory now, but we used to get those messages to come to those. And I guess now I'm not sure, maybe we're not invited or maybe I missed it. Or, yeah, but whatever. But in terms of communication and engaging, I think that at some point in time that it would be great to get the younger generation involved in some of what we're doing and some of this transparency, because they are yearning in different things that I'm in terms of things that they want or things that they don't understand, or they have different questions in terms of how do they get to some of the board members, how do they get to get our support on different things. So I just think in terms of communications.
I will tell you this, that Parent Square, and we're rolling Parent Square, that new communication app out. We're rolling it out first to families. It does have the option for us to communicate, like share things with students. And so that is something that we probably will roll out in a phase 2. And we've been talking about that because, like you said, during the students want to know, like, for example, we have that district dash, that 5K run. Like we could share that with students, things like that. There's district initiatives that we could share with them. And they need to know what's going on. You are correct on that. Because they get it from their schools, but there are some district things we can do as well.
And that's one of them. And that may be one of them. Then also sometimes when we get emails according to some of these things that happen,
Are you talking about number 10, like the board update?
Yeah.
This is the next.
okay, that's okay. Got way, okay.
So when it comes to like the political and passive information,
When the board or committees ask specific departments, say, can we put out a survey for this? So we're pulling information from the community. Do those surveys come to you guys to edit? To say, okay, so hey, maybe this question makes sense, maybe it doesn't, maybe it aligns with our.
So typically what happens is, so we have that software, the BCSD connected software. But let's say I'll use finance for an example. Finance is going to do a budget survey. They typically have like students participate in that as well. So they will come to us and say, hey, we have a survey. Here's some questions. Can you load this up into the system? We will load it up into the system, send it back to them and say, hey, we've loaded this up. Please review this and let us know if you have any changes. Once they give us the okay, then we will typically release it and put out a press release and things like that. So we have the checks and balances in there. It goes to whatever department initiated it. And then if they, for example, like if finance comes to us, but that person, when we give it back to her, she will probably take it to Tanya and Tanya will go through it and look at it. So that's kind of how it rolls.
Gotcha. So we just went through the whole thing with technology, right?
Went through the thing with technology, but there was a bump in the road with that checks and balances process.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody online? Mr.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yeah, Ms. Brewer, y'all doing an awesome job, seriously. This is
Oh,
great information going out. I heard you mention, and correct me, I heard you mention 2 newsletters, one that would want to go out to the teachers and the other one to community partners.
Yes, so we have our one that goes out to our staff members, like you mentioned. And I think you guys get that. You should get that in your BCSC email. And then we're going to launch the one for community partners. And
Okay.
so, we have a thing where people then can also sign up for it. So like, for example, we can give you the page information and how people sign up. If you have people you would like to add to that, we could do it that way.
Yeah, that's a definite. Oh, please let me know when y'all launch that. That'd be good.
Mr. Small? Going once.
No, I have no questions at this time.
Awesome. Thank you. Dr. Carr?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Mr. Smith?
Also, she said that you said that we are trying to have people to be ambassadors. How are we doing that?
So we had a pilot program for the BCSD University thing where there's people in the community that expressed interest in the district. And so it's a small group. It was like 10 people. And we did it like since I think 2023. And then once a week in the spring, we had each department go present to these folks and just to kind of explain all that stuff. So then they become knowledgeable and ambassadors out in the community. And it's nice because they have their connections in the community, right? So people that were in that will still like email me and say, hey, our friends are saying this is going on with the district. Is that accurate? Is that not accurate? And like, for example, we had questions about the book process when all that was going on. And we'd explain, okay, there's a website. You can see everything that's happening with the book review process. You can go here. Thank you. I'll let people know. So things like that, you know.
Well, I did catch that. I was thinking there was something else. I wanted to let you. I didn't want to interrupt you while you were talking.
No, that's okay.
I was just looking, and more, and also in terms of I hear that avenue, but I was just wondering in terms of any other opportunities that we do have to bring people in as ambassadors. Were we doing anything else just besides that right there? Or?
Not right now, but that is something that we do want to do down the road. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because we do want to have sort of like an ambassadorial program. Like even, staff members might want to be part of that as well. So I think it's an important piece. I think we're starting it off and kind of growing it, but I think there probably will be more of an official program down the road.
Any other questions, comments, concerns for OEs 1 and 11? Say Brown's going once, going twice. All right. OE 10.
Great. So OE10 is communicating with the board. Obviously, you get my updates frequently. So basically, this is the one the superintendent shall ensure the board is fully and adequately informed about matters relating to board work and significant organizational concern. And so basically, so either the superintendent or assigned designee will provide communication updates as necessary and inform the board of the following if needed. So media interviews and publicity, you typically get that from me. Significant incidents on school grounds or at athletic facilities or on our buses. Sometimes you get the information from me on that. Sometimes Dr. Rodriguez will give you guys a call. I know sometimes one of you all might hear something going on in the community and then call Dr. Rodriguez, and Dr. Rodriguez, can look into that. He's very good about doing that. But if you ever have a question about anything, I know you all know this, but he's so approachable, you can give him a call for sure. And then if someone was arrested on school grounds, the budget transfers of greater than 50,000, any anticipated non-compliance with board operational expectations. I don't want to go through this and read this, you guys know this, but basically, if there's any issues, significant issues with employees or incidences, or with a contractor, and then the revisions to administrative regulations are presented at board committees and then to the board as needed. And we did, I will say, we did update because you guys asked for it, the text messages now. You're getting text messages and not just emails with the updates.
Questions, comments, concerns? Anybody online? So we have, so some of these proposed motions, for all three of these, they seem a little weird. I move to accept operational expectation communication with the board. Are we, this is, we don't need approval from the board, right? We do need
For the full board. I'm confused with the ARs. I'm sorry.
I'm confused with the ARs. All right, so then we're moving to take these to the full board.
You take them and you can place them on consent
Yes.
agenda. Yes.
Yeah, okay, so. Yeah, that's why I was a little confused about the recommended motions. So, since we have heard all three.
I have a question regarding this one here.
Oh,
Just in regard to this, there's a, in terms of y'all sending this out, where does the flashing light play into this?
So a flashing light is if something happens at a school, like let's say a school is on a medical hold, they might send a flashing lights and it goes to key people like on the crisis team, that basically say this is going on at a school. Something like a medical hold, like we won't inform the board of that. You would be getting like 10 emails a day from us about a medical hold. And there's things with HIPAA and things like that, right? So you couldn't go into detail anyways, but, or if there was, for instance, yesterday, we had the car that ran into the pillar at MC Riley. That came in through flashing lights, and then I notified you guys of that. So that's kind of the progression. We hear about it. We'll get a flashing lights email, like if there was a problem with like an air conditioner. I'll get the email, I will call Robert will fill me in. And if it's a significant issue, like a leak or something like that, and something has to get changed, we let the board know. Like, I think this morning, we let you guys know. So it's just, I do like to try to go dig a little bit and get some more information to convey the right information to you guys. So it might not be instantaneous, but we do a very good job of letting you know.
Right, but who does the flashing light go to?
I'm on it. I think Jennifer Staten is on it. Do you know Alice who's all on the flashing light?
Senior staff.
Senior staff, yeah. Dave Grissom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Principals.
Right, okay. So, and I'm glad because I've heard everyone say, well, you gotta get the flashlight. I'm like, no, we don't get flashlight. What is a flashlight? No, we send it out. We open with a parent card. The parent card, but you should got there. I should have a flashing light. I tried to tell someone in the building one time, no, we don't get those flashing lights. So that's why I want to understand exactly.
Yeah.
Except for that the flashing light goes to staff, not the actual
Correct,
board,
correct.
and communication comes to you, Dr. Rodriguez, to the board actually on
Yes.
what's
Yes.
going on.
So almost all flashing lights when we get them, very, very little information
Mhm.
on there. Normally when we get those, myself, Stuart, can't pick up the phone and start calling and figure out what's going on. That's how we get the information. Flashing light is normally a 1 or 2, 3-liner, very simple, something's going on. So we call and figure it out.
I mean, and I understand that, but people in schools are thinking, and then some of them are the person who don't know better, that the board get flashing lights and the board don't get flashing lights. So I just want to understand what that process is and make that clear so that they do understand now that we don't get flashing lights. And I want to understand who do get flashing lights and what that makeup was. That's because that would fall under that. That's
Sure,
all.
yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you.
All right, so how about we listen to the safety and security, and then we make a motion to put all 4 on the consent agenda. Everybody okay with that? Okay. Can we take like a 5-minute recess? My eyeballs are about to float. So essentially is what it is. I would just, let's go to the monitoring report.
Okay.
15 to.
Okay, then we'll do each of the attachments, or are you gonna just do it under the monitoring report?
Yeah, she didn't know.
I'll stay with the monitoring and ask for the attachment, you just tell us about it.
You can get it, sure, okay, good.
I think that.
Gotcha.
That part, you've done a great job making them, but,
Like, yeah. That part, I guess, was invited.
well, we didn't have a big turnout.
We said that, I know. Anyway, but it's good that we're having them. Trust me, if Steer had been put it out, he wanted school thing, it was community thing. Yeah, teacher compliance. So that's why it was okay with the document. What's happening now?
Appreciate
it. You're the stuff, you're the stuff. Well, no. Yeah, but you do.
I do. Yeah, no.
Come on, Dave. These are the best. It's all. And then go for it.
I will still be well with Ross and even some.
Actually, I think that's go. Good. Hey, look at my belt. I'm gonna do.
Are you just?
Oh, no.
Robin, that's it, but okay.
You did it go in there?
Well, it's just, I just put it in an AM item.
Okay,
I just made a comment.
okay. Okay.
I'll let Robert know.
Didn't take pictures of my phone, do you?
We did not.
So first of all, be made pleased the board. I'd like to introduce Geraldine Henderson. Ms. Henderson, if you can stand up. Not yourself, I'm sure you know. Also, is Andrea Murray. Both of these ladies are integral to our processes here today.
All right, everybody ready to resume?
This is good.
Maybe not my height. A different one for E50.
Right here.
Oh, your stuff
Yeah,
is right there.
yeah.
That big,
Oh, I'm talking about the sheet like that right there.
like this right here, it should be
Right here.
on the cover.
Oh,
You've got, Mr. Smith, you've got the summary and you've got the more broad report. The summary builds off of the report. But all of it's there, enumerated as well as with the attachments. And it's very voluminous and we'll refer to the attachments as necessary, but the attachments kind of feed off of one another. They may apply to different sections of this OE, so 15.1, 15.2 through 15.10, give you an example. This is going to be primary emphasizing 2024 to 2025 school year, but it may have some overlap in the current school year because there's things that happen operationally that we may be addressing. that carries over from one year to the next and for continuing operations purposes. To let you know on that. So Robin, you pull up 15.1. Yeah. If you'll scroll down. Oh. Text.
What do you want? You want me under the executive summary or the monitoring report?
The report,
Oh, I see why, I see why.
2024.
I see why, see,
report.
they look differently. This one was made differently from this one here.
Yeah.
And all of them look like, right, that's why.
Yeah, because there may be more to add.
Yeah,
There,
I'll
you'll go through
that's
the
what's what it was for.
15.1. The annual, yeah. Ensure each school has dedicated, trained and certified security personnel. In addition to a district-wide safety and security department who manages safety and security efforts. Evidence of compliance. We use state-funded school resource officer grants. We're moving to a model of where we have class 1 and class 2 South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy police officers in our high schools all the way down to our early childhood centers. Currently, we have that accomplished starting in the 2024 to 2025 school year. We have class 1s and class 2s in all of our schools during that time period, except for 3 early childhood centers. We augmented security at those early childhood centers without school resource officers with coastal security officers. They are SLED certified security guards. The coastal security provides those as a service for our schools. Hopefully during this current school year, we will have all class 1 and class 3 school resource officers in all of our schools. And we would augment in certain schools, coastal security. Currently, we use coastal security to augment class 1 officers in our high schools, particularly right now, Battery Creek, as well as May River High School. So going forward in just a few weeks, I think we'll have placement, I think for December, but always give a little bit on each side of having class 1 or class 3 officers in all of our schools. Funded through grants administered through the Department of Public Safety here in South Carolina. In addition to that, I'd like to, everybody knows Dave Grissom. He's the Director of Protective Services. My name is Stuart Cottingham. I am the Coordinator of Protective Services here for the school district. Mr. Grissom, would you like to give any of your pedigree?
Okay.
While we're sitting here?
I've given this briefing for the last 13 years. So if you guys got any questions for me, I'm here to assist.
I've been with the school district since November of 2023. I spent 28.5 years with the U.S. Marshals in various capacities. I started out as a deputy U.S. Marshal in Atlanta. I was a supervisory inspector over one of our regional fugitive officers for well over a decade. And I was also a supervisory deputy U.S. Marshal, primarily responsible for the security of class 5 level buildings. And I think you know what that, Mr. Nay, what I mean when I say that. In addition to that, I'm a certified physical security specialist through the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Training Center. Me and Mr. Grissom throughout the school year, we attend bi-monthly meetings here for the school district providing security. We also provide security at various athletic events, especially events as needed and designated. Primarily with athletic events where we concentrate heavily on football games because there is a tremendous crowd that goes to each and every one of these games. You've got 6 high schools in the district, so there's a tremendous amount of customers that we have to oversee during that time. We also go to various training conferences throughout the year, as well as continuing education credits that we get through various online portals for outside vendors that bring in security training programs throughout the district. And I've attached, if you look at attachment 1 for this, we have the security officer training materials for coastal security. And I also included a YouTube video hyperlink that is often for the sheriff's department, the two chief of police, what the police department, as well as the Beaufort Police Department, describing the class 3 officer program. So be free to look at those materials and review them accordingly. I think that it would give you a very good explanation on the class 3 officer program. And there's a difference between a class 1 officer and a class 3 officer. A class 1 officer has full law enforcement powers inside and outside the school. He can take any regular patrol duties, investigative duties, etc. throughout this county or his area of jurisdiction. A class 3, his law enforcement powers are the curtilage of the school. So with that, he has full law enforcement powers on the school grounds, but outside of the curtilage of the school, he does not have the same powers as a class 1 law enforcement officer. Any questions on that? Okay.
Well, we're stopping for questions. Longevity of the grants.
You have to renew them yearly, and that's normally done in.
Yeah, I, at the end of the school year, I apply, well,
Like
February, March, I'll start applying for the grants for next year. Once the state's given us the full grant, I doubt they take it away. In fact, they're looking at reimbursing us for our current SROs that we've always had.
And there's also.
That's gonna be on the agenda for next year, so I'm hopeful for that.
And there's also checks and balances with that. The Department of Public Safety has auditors that they send out to the schools, and it's a hodgepodge hit or miss on which schools they choose, but they come in and audit that those officers are doing the job that the grant says that they do. So it's intensively monitored on that end by the state of South Carolina. And those grants are administered through the Office of the Department of Public Safety. They have their own school resource officer grant office that manages that program. And it's a yearly exercise that you have to do to keep that money.
And it's been like a 3 or 4 year process for us to get every single school finally approved for the grant. So we'll be fully covered finally.
How much of our program is funded by grants?
You know, off the top of your head?
All the elementaries are by the grant.
Wherever there's a school resource officer, his salary and equipment funding, et cetera, I think even his car.
Yep,
is
everything,
part of that
everything.
grant.
Everything.
Postal security side of it is carried by the school district. That is a set aside.
Gotcha.
So we have to directly fund that.
Right. Okay.
Right. Is there any other questions on that?
I was gonna just say that and that's why you're actually correct about that because I remember at the committee meeting we were talking about how much of the SRO that we actually paid for. And when people found out that we paid for actually the car and the uniform, and particularly we pay, I think it's
And gas,
actually,
basically.
right, yeah, there's an actual percentage of that. And so when we have them work these different games and different things, people were wondering, to what degree, how's that paid for? Does anything go into, does anything go into question in terms of, wherever the sheriff department, when do they kick in? That's something that's not for today, but that is definitely a question people have, I've had a couple of people have asked me that.
So that's a 75-25 split. So at the end of the year, during the year, they calculate all their bills for their SROs, the equipment, gas, oil changes, training they have to have, and we pay 75% of it. They pay 25%.
So you said, it's a 75-25,
25, yes, sir.
and that's also, how about when they work on football games?
That's 100% us.
Okay, that's okay.
Because they have
That's extra.
their workday is the school workday.
Right.
Anything outside of that we employ or contract them to do, and they're individually contracted
By
through
the
the
school.
sheriff's office,
Correct.
and they're paid through the sheriff's office, correct?
Unless it's Bluffton or Beaufort City or, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah,
Right,
yes, sir.
by jurisdiction.
And I just wanted to get that accurate, so because I can give out accurate information as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, someone was, okay, yeah, thank you.
That's not a freebie when you're talking about extracurricular duties
Right.
outside of the regular school workday.
I didn't think so.
It's that, so that's one of the things that we have to fund out of our accounts. Okay. 15.2. Any other questions on that before I move into moving right along? Ensure the district will collect data, analyze the results from each school intended to improve or enhance the district's climate. Based on this data, search each school within the district will implement and operate programs such as violence prevention, bullying prevention, training, and use reporting systems to provide data from these programs to the district. And there's several programs that we use. We use Stop It, Placed, to see something, to say something, Jot Form, Platform. We also have a bullying program under Denise Lassard. She's not here tonight because of family concerns, but she administers the district's bullying prevention. I was going to ask Andrea Murray to expand upon the Stop It, and both she and I will talk about the bullying program.
In terms of Stop It, we started using it, I believe, last year. Dr. Graham is working with it. She's no longer with the district, and I have been working with it so far this year. In terms of monitoring it, it is a 24-hour a day platform. Students can use it to anonymously report bullying, drugs, whatever, something that they're not comfortable maybe going to an adult with. They're able to do that on their computers. There is an icon on Classmate for them to use, and they're able to do that. There's also the ability to access Stop It on the district's website as well. Again, they can make anonymous reports. And that was the main concern about that. And it is funded through the South Carolina School Board Insurance Trust. And again, as Stuart said, Ms. Lassard she coordinates the bullying prevention program. And in terms of the violence prevention, we continue to partner with Hopeful Horizons. They no longer have the two separate clubs, which were geared toward males and females. Now they combine them, and it is called RAVE, and that's Rising Against Violence Everywhere. And that is intended to provide basically violence prevention sessions for our middle and high school students. Attachment 2 contains contains the Stop It reports, which break down by type and gives you the various bullying, others, inappropriate conduct, and so on, the percentage and the counts. And that was from July 1st of 2024 to June 30th, 2025. We had a total of 646 submissions. They were all opened and they were all closed by the end of the year.
That number again.
646.
And just so you guys are aware, not all of them, but there are certain occasions when they deem it to be an immediate emergency, I get a phone call. So I've gotten phone calls at noontime during the day, and I've gotten phone calls from Stop It at 2 a.m. When I get the phone call, I've either got to call the school immediately, the SRO, or dispatch to let them know what's going on. So in an emergency, they call me instead of just.
It's looking for keywords too.
Yeah.
And if you have a Stop It saying that there's this priority 1 emergency, they'll reach out to us and they'll ask us, I think that we need to escalate this with law enforcement involved, et cetera. It's real time, just in time. And it covers the gamut of simple school issues that need to be addressed to emergency situations. And it's just in time. It's readily available to school principals as well as senior staff, security, Ms. Murray, et cetera.
I'll have to 15 words.
And you can see the bullying process too on the handout. It has step-by-step under it, attachments too, as well as some statistics. I won't drill down in those. They speak for themselves in attachment 2, different statistics, but she basically reiterates 646 Stop-Its during prior school. Any questions on that? You want to move to 15?
Anybody online have any questions or any comments or concerns so far? Hearing none, moving on. All right.
Who runs this program?
Stop It in and of itself is funded through the South Carolina Department of Education.
Right.
It's set up to have,
Like staff, no, what staff, we have a staff member that's running that runs the program?
Miss Murray oversees the program.
Right.
But throughout the school district, there are subscribers that she puts on this Stop It, school principals, senior staff, et cetera, and they get these alerts on a daily basis. And that
Right.
allows us in real time to respond to these issues, depending if it's just a principal level or an assistant principal level on something.
I got that. Let me get to my question.
Sure.
My question is more to, they said, y'all were saying that y'all could get a call at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So basically, the Stop It comes from student devices? Is that where?
It can
how's
come-
it originated?
It can come from the student devices using ClassLink, or you can also use the district website.
Okay, so I basically say someone's using the district website and
They
something
can
comes up.
also, yes. And
Yeah.
they come in on the weekends, they come in, that's why they get the calls.
I
because
understand
they
your
come in
question.
on the Weekends, but yes, they
How
can
does it
access it.
start?
They can
How does it
access it
originate?
on their devices or on the website.
Right. Yeah, I'm just asking because I'm just, when you get these calls at these times of the night, I'm just wondering. And so we do actually have students that have take-home computers that are actually on the computers at 2 and 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning I'm just trying to get a grasp understanding. Is that
Could be.
it could, right?
The Stop It is a portal that the students can use
Right.
to voice a concern that they have.
Correct.
It may be about themselves. It may be about another student.
Right.
But the students have this portal that gives them the capability. Right. This alert to notify us of an incident.
Gotcha.
That just.
Yeah, shit. Yeah.
Students can report like possible fights, maybe, or, you know, bring in a weapon school or something like that. I mean,
Not only that, Susie has a vape. Susie has a nicotine vape. Susie has a THC vape. It's various things. It could be something very minor, like a disciplinary matter,
yeah.
or just a complaint about a teacher that they don't like what a teacher said to them. But it captures all that data, and it gives us a way to communicate directly to the person voicing the concern.
Good. Okay. 15.3.
Each school has 2 or more types of reporting technology and a threat assessment team that coordinates with the community stakeholders and district, state, or federal resources where appropriate. And we have 3 programs. We have Stop It Again, we have Gaggle, we have Archive Social. I don't think we need to regurgitate.
No, and the main difference with Stop It and Gaggle is Stop It is anonymous, Gaggle is not. Gaggle is tied directly to that student's name and email. So that's the major difference with those. Stop It gives you that anonymity to report. Gaggle does not. Gaggle lets us know what student made the report, and they still report. They may report the same things. Someone has a vape. Someone's threatening to fight. They're threatening to fight in the bathroom. Someone has a weapon. Any part of that gamut. With Gaggle, it also looks for keywords, and they have refined Gaggle now because we were getting notifications when kids were completing assignments and college essays, things of that nature that maybe reference something that has happened in the past. They have refined that whole process, and it's picking that up a lot better now. And we also last year, we are now reimbursed a portion of what we pay for Gaggle through the Department of Education. When you have these safety software programs, you're actually able to receive a portion of reimbursement. So that came out January of this year, but last school year. Yeah, so we were able to, Mark, I wasn't here, I was actually at an event with Gaggle, but Mark, Mr. Shuhan, completed everything and we were able to get that. But the major difference is that two major differences, it's not anonymous and I don't get phone calls at 2 and 3 in the morning anymore. We have Gaggle after hours and it flows through the dispatch center for Beaufort County. So whatever municipality it comes into, whether it's Bluffton or county or city, depending on well, usually if it goes to after hours, it is a PSS, which is a high need. That may be someone expressing suicidal ideations. Someone is actually sent out to the home. We follow up the next morning. So that's the differences between the two. And Archive Social is, I believe, monitored by Communications Department. I don't necessarily have anything to do with that, but that picks up keywords and things that appear on social media.
Yeah, we have all types of social media platforms at district level that the community can participate in, as well as drilling down to the individual school. So we have a responsibility to keep electronic records on what that activity is. But one of the things with Archive Social, it also can target, like she said, keywords. And if you have derogatory words coming out, so inappropriate, it's probably a better phrase. It can isolate, but that's not out in the general public, because some of, and you know how social media is, it can be particularly vicious. You don't necessarily want that type of language on a school website. So we take the appropriate action to make sure that that's compartmentalized so that it's not a concern. Any questions on that?
And in terms of Gaggle, just to give an idea, that is in your attachment. There were 18,591 items that were reviewed for last school year. 18,591.
So kids are using Gaggle way more than.
Well, it
Explain the
depends,
difference.
because with Gaggle, if they're typing something inappropriate, the word gun comes up, Gaggle automatically picks it up. They're not inputting anything. It's just what they may be doing on their device.
Okay, that's the question I was gonna ask next, is they don't have to be logged into the Gaggle portal.
No, there's no portal.
They're in their Google Classroom and they're messaging another student about, planning a fight in the bathroom. The Gaggle catches it.
Yes.
Good, okay, yeah.
The Gaggle is school device.
Yep.
Now, Stop It could be through a portal, which is not on a school device.
Yeah, that's-
Or a portal. There's a big difference there on what you can and cannot. But it's an effective tool.
Yeah.
And being able to pinpoint
Go down and see what it says.
where this originated from. Stop It if it's anonymous and it's not done on one of our devices, then you may not be able to validate what the Stop It is saying.
Down and see.
Investigate it, but if it says Billy or Jimmy did this, and they tell you what school it is, how many Billy or Jimmys are in that school?
It's time consuming, but it's designed to be anonymous if you choose to be.
And Gaggle is not. They're on their device. It tells me who it is. I can even get with Alex in technology, because sometimes we get things that are inappropriate. It's not going to show it, but he is able to let us know what day, what time, and he can and let us know, and in that way administration can address it.
Wow. Gaggle, school devices, Stop It, personal devices or school devices.
Those come in nonstop, it seems like.
They are.
They do.
For Gaggle.
My phone's always going off for those.
One takeaway I would definitely give to these programs that I'm glad that you pointed out is that even in talking to the people in the community, even to the kids, now I realize to tell them if there's a problem at school, you don't want to tell somebody, you want to be known, you can report it to Stop It, and you'll be anonymous versus reporting to Gaggle. Gaggle knows exactly who you are. So that's that's a good takeaway from this understanding both of the programs, that one of them is anonymous and that you can tell students to report to Stop It, and Stop It will basically let the people who need to know what's going on.
And the report of concern is on our school's website, and that allows for community involvement too.
Right.
Not just student involvement.
Right.
And give you like.
I'm talking necessarily, I'm talking about the kid. I interact with the kids a lot. I'm out in the community. And so even when speaking to them, I'm saying that when you speak, when we go to these community meetings, then we can elaborate, let the community and let people know, the kids know, hey, listen, the district does have a couple programs where one is the gaggle that picks up if you're on there doing something you're supposed to be doing, but also on the flip side, we have one called Stop It. If you want to go up there and tell the teacher have somebody see you, then you can just go to Stop It and tell Stop It what you need to, what needs to be translated to a teacher or to whoever needs to get that situation and then let them know, and then they'll let y'all guys know. So I think that's a good takeaway. And there was a program that we talked about at the round table at this table last year. Was it last year that we were going to add? Can you tell me the results of that program?
It was on 14, yes, sir. We did get it.
Okay.
The tier 1 intervention.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's not this though.
No.
Okay,
No,
thank
sir.
you. All right. Well, actually, I have no more questions. Thank you.
15.4.
Yeah, moving them right along.
The district and each school have a multidisciplinary threat assessment team that receives annual training, has comprehensive written plans and procedures, meets regularly, trains together. Written materials about the team's purpose are widely available. The teams have relationships with external community partners, and the threat assessment policy has explained to faculty, staff, students, and families. The teams have a centralized reporting mechanism and investigate and manage reports accordingly. And Andrew,
The district, we follow the South Carolina Department of Education's threat assessment protocol. I am a trainer. And I try to do training every month. And because now we have annual training, we also do refreshers where I meet with staff so that we can strengthen what we're doing and our processes. And this fully, all of our assessments go into EdPlan. So they're all they're electronic. And we've been working with that through training, and that helps us tremendously because if a student transfers, that school is automatically alerted. It's easily accessible. We don't have to do any paper. So it was a bumpy start, but we are really going now. But we stay on it, and I try to have I've scheduled trainings every month through the month of February to work with our staff to make sure that we're following the correct protocol.
and there's now a standalone regulation. It says 62.
Yes.
You were telling me about that.
Yes, and we now have SS 62, which was presented already, and that addressed, matter of fact, I was here, that addressed school-based behavior threat assessment and management. Also in the attachment is the crisis response counseling manual. It includes our suicide prevention assessment and postvention, and it also includes our threat assessment protocol. Those are still our hard copies for an event. Earlier this year, EdPlan was down. So of course, we always have that backup to do those hard copies and still be able to turn them in.
And that's a key component, if I'm not mistaken, of our emergency management plan.
Yes.
Any
concerns?
Questions on that?
15.5.
15.5, the district and each school have plans and
procedures that cover all identified threats and hazards and address what happens before, during, and after emergencies. The plans are integrated into a consolidated emergency management plan that is reviewed and updated at least every other year. The planning team includes a wide range of school personnel plus community partners like first responders. The UP is a regular part of training for staff, faculty, and students. And this is an exemplar of the emergency management plan. It's over 200 pages long. It covers a variety of different situations on how we're supposed to encounter those. And I know that Murphy's Law gets involved in some things, but this gives a practical guide on how to respond to accidents as they occur. Any questions on that? I know that March of 2025, I went through this, reviewing it. Each member who has a part of this emergency management plan reviews it, updates it, and then we have a consolidated plan for the upcoming school year in place. And then each school has to formulate their own emergency plan. So it's like a tier effect. Think of a pyramid, and it drills down to the individual schools. But the schools' plans are the foundation for the top of the pyramid to stay afloat. Okay. Moving right along, 15.6. The district conducts site assessments for all district facilities that involve schools, staff, district staff, and community partners. The results of the assessment are integrated into the EMP and implemented into infrastructure, schools, and district facilities. Site assessments are conducted monthly. We're in these schools, me and Dave Grissom are in these schools every day. We are constantly doing our continuous inspections to make sure things are functioning, et cetera. But in addition to that, as a part of the school safety presentation that I'm a part of, is the genius, and I'm saying genius, and Geraldine Henderson, I'm gonna give you credit where credit's due. She and I go out and we give these presentations to every crisis team within the school district. Because here's the way I look at it, is that everyone's responsible for school safety. Where are the experts? They're in the schools, the principals, the teachers, the support staff. They're in the schools every day. And with the security audit checklist, we're giving them the tool where they take ownership of the facility. They're there every day looking at deficiencies, something that may be broken, et cetera. And if they see something that needs to be repaired, it empowers them to put together work orders and it creates awareness. And I think it's got to be vertical and horizontal integration on how you do this. And we've been incorporating this in the school safety presentation. Would you like to comment on that, Ms. Henderson? It's amazing the amount of hard work that she puts in going to every school, giving these presentations. And I have to give her credit where credit's due. And it serves as a training vessel for the crisis management teams to drill this down to the individual teachers in the school so that they can put that knowledge in students, especially if you have lockdown drills, et cetera. It gives a knowledge base for what needs to be done during emergency. And it covers a lot of the key points of this emergency management plan. Go ahead. Just a few short words. I know you.
Mr. Cottingham, go to this. As Mr. Cottingham mentioned, that we use the emergency management plan as a resource. It is stated specifically in the manual that it is a resource for district level and school level personnel in response to a serious incident or a crisis. And that includes, I think, about 14 appendixes to include the crisis counseling piece, even our district reunification plan. And as he mentioned, we go to every school a minimum of one time a year and meet with the actual school crisis team. The state mandates that each school has a school crisis team. In addition, and equally as important, have a district crisis team. And we're responsible for training district level personnel because a crisis can occur in this building. It has occurred in this building. So we have to train them on how to respond to a crisis and to act quickly because time is an essence. And as he mentioned, we are truly the first responders. It's going to take those folks, first responders, to respond to a call from 3 to 7 minutes. So who owns the crisis? The folks in the building own it until their arrival. So we ensure that they're familiar with processes and procedures as far as responding to crisis. And the manual actually has tabletop scenarios that the school crisis team work with their faculty and staff during their staff meetings. I'm giving them tools to create weekly tips, safety tips. So how do you, my question to them, how do you train your stakeholders to include parents? When a parent get a phone messenger that comes from the district or the school and they hear the word, the school is on a hold. What is hold? If for a new parent that's in the school system, unless we educate them exactly what that is. And not only that, every student, every staff member in the building has what we call a badge backers. You all have that. So it tells them how do we respond to a crisis, because anybody in that school that's a faculty or staff member can put the school in one of those 5 emergency status. So it's important that we educate them. We get an average 500-600 new employees a year. How do they know how to respond? because a crisis can happen the first day of school. So we conduct over 150 trainings a year, and that is managed. It includes documentation, agenda items, and how many people participate in those trainings.
We practice specificity. On the back of the card, it has particular things, phases, lockdown, secure, hold. We teach specificity, because I know outside of the school environment, you talk law enforcement, et cetera, they think everything's a lockdown. It's situational based on what happens. And we preach being specificity, making sure you're in the right mode, be it secure, hold, et cetera, severe weather, because you don't want everything to be generalized as a lockdown, because with a lockdown, you're teaching through your craze, avoid, deny, defend. We want the situation to meet what we're talking about in the mode. Y'all understand that? And I think that's important, because there is a tendency, because I used to be on that side of the fence. Every time you went around a school doing some type of operation in the community, oh, we got to call that a lockdown. So it's very important we stress this, because you have to be in the right mode.
Where's many things? Yeah. So, that being said,
Is there any other questions about this?
I just say, even the people in the community, they know about it, and then in terms of, I had one of the guys asked me, he said, you speak in Spanish? I said, well, I said, he said, I'm glad you're walking in good. He said, you can tell me the sign saying Spanish. I said, what? And so what he was talking about was the lockdown, was the one, basically the sign of what he was saying, that's good that you have everything, even Spanish.
Yes.
So no, they know exactly. And then they understand, because apparently his child basically told him that sometimes something happened, that they put the building in certain levels of lockdown. So even the kids, they apparently throughout the district, the same way I didn't know 75, 75, 92, they go lockdown means in terms of different levels of it.
Well, the system itself, when it's activated, it speaks in Spanish and in English. And if you press it, it'll say lockdown. Prior to us going into one of these drills, et cetera, we make sure in English and Spanish that our customers in the school, the students, who some of them don't even speak English, that they know that this is a drill versus a true lockdown. So that's done to meet the different cultures that we have in our school. If you think about it, if you're a Hispanic student, you don't speak English, and you hit the button, lockdown, lockdown, lockdown. What does a lockdown mean? You're under attack, right? So we preface that by inserting Spanish language to let them know that this is just a drill. And that's how we try to accommodate all the different students that we have in our school district. And I think that's smart business. Any other questions? Nope. Okay, so we're on 15.7 now. All right. Each school provides training on all emergency policies and procedures from the school's EMP, including the roles of staff and faculty. All staff and faculty members are trained, and training is provided when staff and faculty are hired at the beginning of the year for returning employees and throughout the year. Basically, districts are required to provide annual training for staff on a variety of emergency policies and procedures that's covered under the emergency management plan. This is schools. Here's an exemplar of the flip charts that are available in each classroom. That is a quick guide giving instruction to teachers and students. Can look at this on what they're supposed to do in the event of one of these particular emergencies. We conduct severe weather drills in the schools to include earthquake preparedness, winter weather preparedness, severe weather and flood safety, tornadoes and hurricanes, and all schools conduct 2 severe weather drills each year. And a lot of our schools in emphasizing this, like the Great Shakeout, earthquake awareness, since we live in earthquake zones, participate in those too. And again, this is a regurgitation of attachment 5 meeting this. In preference for drills, we send out a mandatory training packet that alerts each and every school of what drills and requirements are for the drills during the school year. And that's included under this attachment too. And professional development. Ms. Henderson has a comprehensive professional development schedule that she goes through, and I think we have an exemplar in there of what the syllabus is pretty extensive. And in addition to that, and I'll segue back to bullying. If you looked at some of the bullying training that's been held in the district, that's extensive too. And I give kudos to Miss Murray on everything that she does because she's on top of all that. Any questions on that? 15.8, each school provides comprehensive training on all emergency policies and procedures, fire drills, tornado drills, evacuation protocols, and lockdown procedures based on the school's EMP and on general school policies. Developmentally appropriate and trauma-informed training is provided to all students at the beginning of the school year and is reinforced throughout the year. Our SRO officers and the law enforcement agencies that they work for, they constantly do active shooter drills, training to eliminate the threat. We give them access to particular schools. I think the most recent one was Pritchardville Elementary School coming into this school year, where they come in and do active shooter training in their buildings to familiarize them with the layouts of the school and teaches them movements, because you know skills deteriorate. So you constantly have to train to make sure that you know what you're supposed to do as a law enforcement officer in the event of the active shooter actually occurring. They use the alert program here as far as training school resource officers and local law enforcement officers. And also in each school, the SROs and Danny Allen from the Sheriff's Office come in and conduct praise training twice a year to district staff, telling them the particulars of avoid, not offend in the event there is an active shooter in your building. I got a pretty good YouTube link. You want to look at it. It shows some of the active shooter training that the Sheriff's Office and other partners engage in. In addition to that, you know that Ms. Henderson teaches the I Love You Guys standard protocol, and I think you're familiar with that from past sessions. We do lockdown drills in the schools. I have those schedules there, canine searches, as well as the other drills that were required to meet under state mandates. And we actually exceed the state mandate, which is only 2, and we do it 3 times a year. Any questions about that?
Yeah, I do canine searches 3 times a year?
No. Lockdown drills.
Okay.
Lockdown drills.
How regular are we doing canine searches?
We try to hit every school that we can. We concentrate. You don't want to do them in the elementary schools or early childhood because of the age group.
Right.
But when you look at our primary focus is on the high schools as well as middle schools.
Right. But my question is, how regular are we doing them though? Because we talk about, all that is a detail. We talk about, bringing in the metal detectors, all that's a part of the deterrent. And then the kids know when I was in school, we knew, we never know when they're going to bring the canines. So my question is, when have we done them, and what track record do we have of doing them in our schools?
We try to hit every school during the school year with the canines. We normally have to do those on Wednesdays. That's the training days of it. We try to hit them at least once a year. There are environmental factors that may prevent us having a particular school done during the year. If there's a situation where there's an outside situation that prevents us from doing it, or they can't schedule it when we're available to, then we have to look at doing it at a separate time. But we try to get to at least once a year each high school, middle school.
So for example, we've probably had 5 or 6 that have been scheduled in the last month and a half on Wednesdays that they've had to cancel on us because either manpower wasn't available or something happened with the police department or different reasons they had to cancel. We try to schedule one almost every Wednesday if they're available.
And for instance, when you talk about environmental factors, the tremendous amount of swatting with the active shooter situation that happened in Georgia last year. There were a lot of fake calls throughout the nation, creating concerns in the school that drew law enforcement resources away to take care of those situations because schools were getting inundated with these false alarms, people trying basically to swatting calls saying that this was going to happen at a particular school. We have to address those too. And these environmental factors could influence whether or not we have those dog resources available to come in when we can do the drills. And we also have testing that can interfere with drills as well. And you can't interfere with the testing to bring in dogs. So that,
Right.
yeah,
Gotcha.
so we do a very thorough job in getting these canine searches done.
Any question?
15.
15.9, each school conducts discussion-based exercises at employees once a year with staff and faculty and community partners. Exercise results are documented and the school EMP is revised as needed.
Each school conducts operations-based
Exercises with staff and faculty and developmentally appropriate drills with students in accordance with the EMP. Each school conducts 3 lockdown drills yearly. Following each lockdown drill, law enforcement, district service personnel, and school administrative staff meet to discuss the drill and prepare an act or improvement plan. And normally after we do lockdown drills, we're in a room just like this, and we're discussing what went right, what went wrong. And we put together a plan to see how we can do it better next time at that school. Continuous refinement, continuous improvement. And briefings can be oral, these after action reviews can be oral, they can be written, etc., in discussing these situations.
15.10.
And I think that's the last one, right? Each school's EMP includes recovery plans that address the 4 main components of recovery and plans for different time frames. Recovery plans are reviewed and updated annually. Staff and students are trained on recovery plans on an ad hoc basis. There's 4 components of recovery: mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. As you can see in the explanations of what each are, Lakeisha Swinton serves as the Beaufort County School District Director of Employee Services, and she's the head of reunification. With reunification, I think we have identified 8 sites at this point on the northern end and the southern end of the county. We have 3 reunification trailers that are stocked with the materials necessary for the district staff to come in and to assist the school at these reunification sites to make sure that they're matched back up to their parents, as well as there's other logistical constraints there too. You got to think about food. You got to think about the necessities of life, because these could be a time-consuming event. And it's a comprehensive plan on what we do to reunify these people according to what our emergency management procedures are, and a reunification plan that is attached in the last attachment, which I think is number 7, follows the I Love You Guys standard response protocol. And the school's got their responsibilities to account for their people. Got to get the people to our reunification center to students and distribute them to their parents, and also communicate that to the parents of where to go to get their child, because it's going to be a chaotic situation. Any questions? I wanted to thank you for allowing me to do this, but I give all the merits to these ladies right here, the programs that they oversee. It is a group in doing all of this. And you'll be amazed at the participation at the school level. Everyone takes this serious because they know what the consequences are. We've got to get it right every time. And it's continuous learning on any of these, because in a true crisis, we're going to have to function under a great amount of pressure, and we'll have to refine it for the next time too. It's continuous learning and improvement. Any questions?
Is multi-level training. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a question, and I have to go back. When you talked about the safety over the football fields, over the fields. One question, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that some of our fields are used by the county, like for little leagues.
There are some.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, are we responsible for, the safety on, when the county uses it, or does the county, have their, resources out there? When you talk about safety. Do they have
Yes,
offices out there?
those are contracted by facilities, and during that agreement, they have to provide for security.
Well, I would say we do not have county-run organizations there. And this is Robert Gordon. There are organizations that use our facilities. They're under our jurisdiction then, so they are our responsibility. Our facilities use agreement does require all of them to have armed security present for any kind of athletic event.
And correct me if I'm wrong, if it's a certain size of event, there has to be a school representative there for
Well,
it, especially athletics.
yeah, I mean, once it gets to a certain size, we'll bring it to Dave himself and talk about, what level of security do we need, things of that nature. Because the only time the county has gotten involved is when there's been, I think, some political people that come. But outside of that, they are our responsibility. They are not under the county's jurisdiction when they come.
Okay. Okay. So we do have people out there when we have the counties doing their thing. For safety, I'm asking.
What do you mean by the county doing their thing?
Well, I'm
That's
saying,
what
they're like the little league teams and stuff that do use our grounds.
Yeah.
Athletic.
Right, but they're not under the county. They are individual little league organizations that lease our fields and use them.
They signed a memorandum.
Their agreement is with us, not the county.
Okay.
And we do require some type of security. And if it was a large enough event, we may need to get the county involved to see, if they use multiple facilities and have thousands of people, we would get the county involved.
Okay. All right. Understood.
Any other questions online? Any other questions in the room? All right, thank you so
very
much
much
for your
for everything.
presentation, and thank you for everything you've done.
If you have any questions, I'm always available offline to discuss it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, so for all four of the OEs, is there a motion to approve and move to the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second?
I second it.
Mr. Smith is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. I go.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Unanimous. Motion passes.
Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Cushenberry. So thank you.
Come on and join me, Mr. Vargas.
Let me get mine.
Oh.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. I know. Many trees contributing to this process.
It's your floor.
17 minutes.
See if I can do it quicker.
We still have the material.
Let's get through that now. All right. So I will. Do I begin? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The executive summary of projects through October 31st. So at the end of the month in the 2019 referendum, we reported that we had 10 projects closed out remaining. Right now, we are confirmed that we will have 7 this month. We are working on 2 that we need some confirmation on some items on the final.
More this month or down to 7 this month?
No, we have 7 additional, so that will leave us with
18?
No.
Oh,
You had 10 reported at the end of October, and then we're adding 7 more to that list. There's 3 others that are potential as well for the end of the month. So we could potentially have all the contractors wrapped up. I'm already working with the designers so that we can reconcile them as well. We have one of the design teams already taken care of. That leaves us with about 3 to 4 other firms to just wrap up. So once the contractors are done, we can move on to the designers, and it just leaves the last commitments, which were some of those items that we purchased with the remaining funds. That is actually, we have 5 commitments as of today. 2 of those commitments were the AEDs that we were doing, some additional, supplementation of some of the schools, or all of the locations to not some of the schools. And also the weapon detection systems that were purchased so that we can, install. That being said, the 2019 referendum financials, at the end of the month, where, we had a remaining available funds, which included the contingency of, $833,000. The contingency activity, we had a return of $652,000, and we had the use of $268,000. So, at the current moment, the contingency remaining, as of the end of October, was $716,000. Any questions on 2019? All right, 2023 referendum, we are currently
You said y'all returned, how much money was that?
$652,000 to the contingency in 2019.
So that means everything from 2019 is over now at this point. Is that what you're saying?
No. We're working on reconciling, so there's still some money that's coming back, but we have a plan on how to close this whole thing out to zero it out.
Goal by this time next month.
Okay.
2023 referendum, the monthly project updates, we have a lot going on. May River Elementary, biggest thing is that we have the building pad, which is scheduled for completion in November, so that should allow us to start coming off the ground with the building. At May River High School, CTE, JROTC, we are coordinating a ribbon cutting, take place either in December. I know, that hasn't solidified, so
We're working on it.
yes.
Right now, tentatively, the 16th.
You had a question regarding that articulating arm for the welding room. We found out each one of those costs somewhere between $1,300 to $5,100. So you had a couple of those, but they're pretty neat pieces of equipment. So hopefully when the ribbon cutting happens, you guys can all see what those ET spaces are going to look like. The new ECC, we have a pricing review on Thursday. As of the moment, the EDs have begun. We're gonna collect some of those comments, but this is gonna help us determine where we are with the price point on that facility. So looking forward to that discussion with the CM. Hilton Head Island High School, the construction is progressing on phase 1. We have a cost review tomorrow with the contractor to see where we're at with that project. Hopefully, we are within target so that we can move to the GMP. If everything is okay, the plan is to bring that amendment to the board in the December meeting. Beaufort High School CTE, we have the construction documents that are scheduled to be received in December, so we're nearing that project entering contract as well. And Ladies Island Middle School project, we have the CDs which are scheduled to be received next week. So that's gonna be 50% CDs, which is gonna allow us to do another review of the designs and where we're at, and then we can proceed to the 100%. Plan right now for that project is to be under contract somewhere in Q1 of next year.
And in terms of the Ladies Island Middle School, you talking about?
Yeah.
In terms of the Ladies Island Middle School project, my community has reached out to me. I've had several people. I was also at a SIC meeting, and they are concerned that this school does not have a auditorium, and also I had a couple people who apparently we had a meeting at the SIC meeting, and people were not there from us. Then they were expecting us. They said normally that they've come with this additional meeting in terms of telling them what that the building, what's going on with the building, and so people are saying, well, how they supposed to know? So I think that we would at some point in time we may need to.
We didn't have enough meetings with SIC?
No, they were saying that them SIC meeting or SIC meeting, not the building, not in terms of what the building was going to consist of, and that what all that and how basically how in terms of having a meeting about the building was not just at SIC meeting. They were like normally that's not
a separate meeting. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So right because
if that's how
they didn't interpret the SIC meeting to the SIC, not the buildings. And I was like, oh yeah, well that's what we have had them. And they're like, well, how are we supposed to know? I was like,
Well, we also said, you know, if the community wants us to have a meeting, we'll be glad to come. Just let us know, we'll set it up. But if the school wants us to have a separate meeting outside of SIC, that's fine too. They just need to tell us that.
Okay, well, this was more community people and some parents who I guess once that.
If there's a community group that wants us to come present, we'll be glad to present. Just have them reach out to us, tell us what time, place, we'll be there.
So, okay. Okay.
Or any further?
But just only that there's a concern in terms of Ladies Island Middle School not having an auditorium. Moving forward, that's something that we need to. That's something that's a concern of the communities, and how we get to the bottom of that right now, I'm not sure, but that is a serious concern in the form of us before we started to put the first block down. That is a serious concern because they are a school of the arts. So with not having that, the community feel that it could be some restrictions there, and that students are not guaranteed the full effect of what an auditorium and what that is. So.
Your hands up.
Okay.
Mrs. Frazier.
Which middle schools have auditoriums?
So the only middle schools that had auditoriums were Ladies Island Middle and Hilton Head Island High School. No other middle school, and those
Right,
are both, I'm sorry,
No.
middle school. And those were built in the 80s, and since the 80s, we have not built a middle school with an auditorium.
That's why I'm trying to figure out the issue, because I know River Ridge didn't have an auditorium. The gyms or either the cafeteria for elementary and middle schools are the ones that double as auditoriums. So there are no middle schools with auditoriums. So Ladies Island Middle School not having one shouldn't be such a large issue.
Actually, Ms. Frazier, actually, you're wrong. Actually, he just stated that there are 2 middle schools with auditoriums.
Which ones?
Well, Hilton Head Island Middle School
So Hilton Head
has a small auditorium. I would say,
Let me answer a question, please.
okay,
From what he's saying, that Hilton Head Middle School has one, and Ladies Island Middle School do presently have auditorium, and they use their auditorium a lot. So that's where the concern was coming from in terms of different things with parents and their shows. So that's where this concern comes from, because there are auditoriums in two middle schools right now, and also there have been parents who have said at Robert Smalls that them having different things in their place and not actually having an auditorium is not very comfortable in terms of seating and in terms of ambiance and getting a full experience of those programs. So parents are talking, and so that's where the conversation happened, because we do presently at this time have auditoriums in the district at those schools. So that's the true factor of that.
And what year was Hilton Head Island Middle School built?
so they were built in the 80s.
In the
I think
80s. So any other middle school that has been built up to this day since the 80s does not have one. So is it an issue with you explaining to the community, appreciate the brand new building that you're being built instead of seeing a shortfall? Or send the teachers to the other schools and show them how they're using their non-auditoriums to actually put on grand performances, and let's leave this Lady Island Middle School alone.
Well, actually, we're actually asking the taxpayers to spend their money, and then rightfully speaking, this is their money and what they want in their community. So therefore, I want my personal self. I will not do that, because I understand I do work for the taxpayers, and if they have concern, it is my job to convey their message and what they're wanting. Because technically speaking, for instance, one of the reasons why I won't convey that message is because you look over at Robert Smalls middle school, Robert Smalls National Academy. Their basketball games there. That's totally too small, and I cannot imagine having a program that we would have time in one of the auditoriums to have it in that gymnasium. So when you have a huge game, I've been to one of the games where you couldn't even basically everyone at a middle school game couldn't even get in there. And God forbid, you talk about having one of those playoff games, you can have those playoff games at those middle schools. So what function are these capacities, are these schools really functioning in? And so these are being the stewards of people's money. These are questions that we must ask ourselves along the way too. Because once again, we do keep in mind, we do go to taxpayers and ask them for money. And then we're going to come back in a couple years and say, oh, the school is growing. Oh, the school needs an auditorium now. So now we're coming back out. It's called nominated. Either you pay now or you pay later. So now we're going to go back to taxpayers and ask them for an auditorium. So it's not just coming from me. It's coming from the community. It's coming from the principal. And it's coming from several other people who was at that meeting who have said these are underlying concerns. So once again, that's where we're at with it.
What's the capacity at Ladies Island Middle School?
So we are building it for 600 students. That could be expanded to 800. The current enrollment, I think, is around 350 to 400.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure River Ridge Academy is leaking at the seams. Go to the other middle schools, Will. That's all I'm asking you to, because you keep hopping on this that Lady Island Middle School is being mistreated. Go to the other middle schools and see what they have to deal with.
Now, I'm not saying that middle school is being mistreated. What I'm stating is that need versus want, supply versus man. If we're saying that we're supporting arts, if we're supporting the arts, then at the Ladies Island Middle School, the community is asking, because we've asked the community for some money. We've asked the community to support these referendums and building these schools. We've built several other schools on the other side of the Broad, and this is a simple act, because actually this school was supposed to have been in the first referendum, and it got pushed back to the second one. And so I think that that's something that could be granted. And it's just, I mean, it's just that, I mean, have we even talked about saving the auditorium that we have? Well, I mean, could we save the one that we currently have and update it? I think there are other options in terms of getting rid of things that we have. I just think that having the conversation truthfully and being open to the idea of what we have and how we can utilize it, or how we can meet in the middle. I think that's more fruitful of just saying, hey, you ain't gonna have it, deal with it. And that's the approach that the community do not, that's what they don't want to accept. So I think that's pretty much is where I'm coming from.
I mean, I do, if I can make one little correction, Ladies Island Middle School does not have a full-fledged auditorium. It has a large lecture hall with a stage. And then its stage is on the gym as well, which they haven't used. So it is not, I mean, it seats like 150 people or something like that. So it isn't, just for the record, it's not a full-fledged auditorium. What Hilton Head Middle School has is not a full capacity auditorium, but it is more of an auditorium. So just for the record, Ladies Island Middle School doesn't have a full-fledged auditorium right now.
Well, and then for the record, I could also say for the record, then why did we not look at to have that same style that we have there now back there? Because you have an auditorium that seats different events and different things when they have it going on now. I mean, because I mean,
but it's not our middle school standard. It has not been that's not what we do. To Ms. Frazier's point, we have not done a middle school like that since the 80s. So that is not our standard for a new modern middle school.
But when we did St. Helena Elementary School, that wasn't a normal standard gymnasium either. But
that was done in the 50s.
No, hold on. When we did St. Helena Elementary School gym, that was not the normal standard either. So therefore, we went back to the drawing board. And I guess I forgot, but none of the other board members were in here who were there. And so we made the decision versus tearing down the whole building, or versus keeping the building and gutting it out and bringing it up to date and making it look nice and being the same nice building for the over there. So therefore, we basically a steady tearing down and rebuilding. We just went ahead and we renovated and saved this with some money as well, and therefore we kept that side of the gymnasium that we had versus just adding a classroom onto the building is what we were looking at. And so that's my same thing here. Okay, a steady tearing down the existing one. But could we possibly do some other things? And I don't think that this is a right now conversation.
No, I can answer that question. The answer is no.
I mean,
Because St. Helena Elementary School is a standalone gym. It was a standalone gym.
Right.
We left when it was part of the high school. We left it as a standalone gym. The Black Box, Performing Arts Theater, whatever you want to call it, Ladies Island Middle School, is an integral part of that building. It cannot be left as a standalone and that building function. That is not a possibility.
and I would say absolutely that you can't, that you're not sure that because
No, I am sure.
they do. There's so many stuff that in the building world has changed so drastically. They do new things every day, and I just don't think that's a conversation.
Affordably.
Okay, exactly.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's not financially.
So, yeah, right. So I just think that this is a conversation. I brought this up to be moved forward so that we can have this conversation and not just let the community to have them be ignored. Because community at this point feel that they've been ignored by it, and also they have not had the right due diligence to be known that there was a conversation around building the new Ladies Island Middle School. Ladies Island Middle School. That's just point blank period what my remarks were to bring up, to understand in terms of those two things right there, about the auditorium and about having a conversation that's strictly about the maintenance and the building of the school. Point blank period. That's it. I just think right now it's time for it, because it's not about me, it's about my constituents as well. So I can move forward with it. I'm done.
Is there anybody else that hasn't spoken yet that want to speak, Mr. Carr? But I'll get to you, Ms. Frazier
And Alfonso.
and Alfonso. Mr. Alfonso?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, did you have anything to say?
No, not this time.
Okay. No, Ms. Frazier, just a second. So correct me if I'm wrong. The footprint of the new Ladies Island Middle School was changed, right? It was going to be something else, and then they changed to be a 3-story building.
Yes.
And one of the reasons was to save money, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Well, save money and time.
save money and time.
Which saved money.
Yeah, which saves money. All right. So,
And saves trees.
and saves trees.
And saves the athletic field, yeah.
So I mean, that was done for several reasons.
Yeah.
But one of them was to save money.
Right.
Because there's not a whole lot of money out there. The taxpayers, as you mentioned, have paid for a certain amount of money. When we said this is how much money we need for the referendum, this is how much we are putting towards Lady Island Middle School. Make sure that we fall within that budget. A gym or an auditorium was not included. So we can't change the scope, budget, or time allotted for that project to add. I don't even know how much it would, 10 million, 12 million, $30 million. What would it cost to
It'd be closer to 10.
10. Yeah. So I mean, $10 million is a lot. I mean, and we can't just pull it out of our armpits, you know? So I'm saying that there aren't options out there, but just saying let's find the money. We're not going to find the money. To find $10 million, we have to take $10 million away from something. And those are decisions. So if we're going to have those decisions, then we have to make motions to readdress this and make those decisions. And are those decisions still in line with the referendum spending that the taxpayers paid for or voted for, excuse me. So we can have those conversations, or we at least can make a motion to make those conversations, have those conversations, but understand that there's a certain amount of money allotted to Ladies Island Middle School, and $10 million-ish for an auditorium wasn't in the package. So we're gonna have to make decisions to cut $10 million from somewhere to build that. Mrs. Frazier?
My last question was just, where are we in the stage for the building of Ladies Island Middle?
We're CDs?
Yeah, we're a construction document
Yeah.
and
So two things to add. One of the things we did to address this is we did make sure that there is a space in the new program for an auditorium if it is chosen to be added. So we are moving forward with the project that if at any time money is available, you could add that auditorium on, even if we've already started construction. And I mean, that is something that could be done at any time. Once you make that decision, once the money is found, let's just say you got to give us 8 8 months to a year later, we could start construction on it.
Right.
Somebody say,
But the building is being built in a manner to which you can add an extension.
yes, that's correct.
In the event that in the next referendum,
Yes.
that voters want to pass a part to add an auditorium, we can do that.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, that makes me feel good, but
That capacity to the facility.
That's just based on y'all's conversation and the requests that's come out of the community for that. We've made sure that that's gonna be a possibility.
okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Whenever they meet again, can we make sure that his constituents know this?
About the auditorium or about a meeting?
About the auditorium being $10 million and the possibility that when we find the $10 million, they'll get it.
Yeah. Oh, that,
Or
definitely.
maybe they'll get it if we find $10 million that we can earmark to build an auditorium for 400 students.
No, if the board chooses to, allocate $10 million for it through referendum, 8%, whatever fund, we go with.
So, Mr. Smith, the next
I mean, $10
meeting
million,
you
we're just
have
going out as a number, but.
to speak to your constituents about that, perhaps invite someone from operations so they can explain it to them in detail, please.
No problem. No problem. But actually, just to be crystal clear here. When we have these, we talked about this before, on the board. When we have these meetings, in terms of what goes into a referendum, maybe that's more a line of what we should be understanding what we're paying for. Because at no point do you actually go out and say you're going to build a house from the ground up and not know what you're paying for. So it sounds like, I'm not gonna, as a board member, it sounds like we went out and purchased a house and we didn't know what the heck we were paying for. Because obviously what we were paying for is not what was conveyed to the community, and it's not what they signed to pay for. So this is definitely a serious concern, and this is not the first time that this concern has come up. So to me, this is a serious concern that screams that we need that as board members, that we need some work in terms of what we are aligned to be birthed from this district, because you're having people who signed up, who said that they wanted to pay and support education, but there was a component in the education that they're looking at, they paid for, that they're not getting. So to me, this is a problem. This is not about telling somebody, oh, you need to come over with $10,000. They can say, well, take $10,000 that we signed up for, because on the other side, y'all ain't cutting them short on anything else, or y'all not cutting them short on other things. So so before we go down that rabbit hole, I think we want to be careful and cautious about how we deal with people and how their feelings are too, because at the end of the day, they are still taxpayers.
Okay,
so that's what I'm clear about that.
So let's move forward with the construction update, please.
All right, moving on to the financial updates for the end of October, we had to pay the committed funds totaling $189.36 million. The remaining available funds, including the contingent, $249.68 million. We had no contingency activity for the month. We are still sitting at the program contingency of $11.43 million, and the current remaining project level contingencies are at $13.6 million. Any questions in 23 or moving right along? All right, on the 8%, not much to really report. We are moving right along. A lot of the projects are currently being put under contract. We have designs going on. We are working right now through the RFPs, and the RFQs are out there for the design services and the TM at-risk services. Biggest thing out here at the district office was just the main entrance has reopened. Same with ISD and student services. So a lot of work's going on now in the finance department and HR and staff offices. Community outreach, we had the groundbreaking for May River Elementary last month. We also had the meeting with the SIC, the joint meeting with the SIC and the public at Ladies Island Middle School, which is where a lot of these issues were brought to the attention of the project manager and the design team. And then we had also the student assignment meetings that have taken place. Right now, there's only one remaining student assignment meeting required for the opening of Mill River Elementary, and that is at NC Riley Elementary, which is scheduled to take place on what, Thursday? November 20th. So that's the last meeting before the public can hear about the student reassignments. The last item we have is the RFPs and the RFQs for the professional design services, construction management and risk services. Like I mentioned, the RFP for the construction services was awarded. This time around, we only have 2 contractors that have been awarded the RFP. That was Thompson Turner Construction and then Becon Construction. On the RFQ for the professional design services, that is going to be presented at the Board of Education workshop this coming Friday. So we'll find out who those architects are then. With that, that's it for my report. Any questions?
Questions here? Any questions online?
No, sir.
No,
Thank
I'm
you.
good, Chair.
And serial election.
All right. Here we
What have we been waiting for?
7:40. And Ms. Smith, this is a topic you requested, and it goes right in hand, I think, with what you were talking about with being stewards of the people's money, and how we make decisions on building construction. So we've not done a presentation like this before, so I kind of appreciate it. I know we're wanting to get through. I'll go through this quickly, but it is kind of been a fun topic to put together. Next slide. So the 2 quotes here, and these are 2 things that I really believe in, and that the material someone chooses when building a school reflects really what is important to the district. That's what we're coming back, and that's kind of what that first kind of quote involves. And this, where is the board get involved in this? In my mind, is to give the staff direction on what is important. An example would be if the board feels that performing arts centers need to be in all middle schools, we need that direction before, and that needs to happen in the budget stage. Same thing with materials. We'll get it, what is important to the board? What do they want to see in their buildings? Move forward. So, whoa, that came across different. Well, mine looks like this. I don't know why that looks like that. Okay, so each one of those squares is supposed to be different systems, actually. And that just goes to say that there are, in every school building, there are hundreds, if not thousands of different systems. Each system has a choice. And really one of the things we try to do, and each choice has a plus and minus of every kind. If we go to the next slide, what we are trying to do is, okay, I guess this is what I sent you.
It's probably the font.
This is what I printed off what I sent you. Okay, I don't know why it came across like this.
Egyptian?
Yeah, okay, but optimizing is what we strive for, which balances the difference of cost, quality, maintainability, and long-term. Maximizing would be just focusing on the single best, such as what is the cheapest cost or what is even the most expensive cost, depending on which way you want to go. Next one, that looks like. So obviously I need to prove what your end looks like. It's the same thing I sent you. It's a PDF. But so optimizing is important because buildings last a long amount of time, and it's more than just the upfront cost. In that is all your operating and maintenance costs, because they have to last 40 to 50 years. Next one. So I'm gonna give a real quick, and one of the things we try to focus on is what is important to us and what can we save money on that people don't even recognize. What that has up there is a copper and aluminum feed. This is an example of one of the things that we took out of May River High School to save money. We used aluminum feeds instead of copper. They both can be used. Does that impact education? No. Does anyone care? No. But copper and aluminum are both commodities. And sometimes at the time we built May River High School, actually copper was very expensive. So we saved hundreds of thousands of dollars by going to an aluminum feed into the building. There are some advantages and disadvantages, but does anybody know that? No, that's what we try to optimize and get the most value out of every building so that we can spend smarter, ensuring every dollar supports instruction, safety, and comfort in the classroom, which is basically, and so that's what we ask ourselves when we're looking at every decision. You know, how does that decision impact safety or the classroom or learning and function? Now, I'm going to slow down here. So 5 strategies that matter. This kind of summarizes when we build buildings right now, what is important to us. And it does change over time, which I'm going to talk about a little bit. HVAC systems. We spend money on HVAC systems. We do not buy the cheapest. This is outside of maintaining them. We buy systems that allow for comfort and control in every room. We have building management systems so that we can manage when they're being used, so that we can turn them off, have fresh air. That, you know, saving money on energy saves money that we spend, that gives us more money to spend on teachers, basically. So that's important to us. Other things are technology. We probably have, you find another school district has as much technology in the buildings as we do. It is a rarity. I can see if you go around and look at other school districts across the country, we're probably up there in the top tier. We have smart boards in every room. We have multiple Wi-Fi in every room. We have in-room sound systems with lapel mics that can be used as alert systems. I mean, we spend a lot. We have one-to-one devices. That is important to our district. That is very obvious. We spend a lot of our money on technology. So, and that's not a good or bad thing. That's just saying, you know, what is important to us. Safety and security. We were one of the first districts in the all of South Carolina that went with our portication. What do you call the? The entry, no, the entry space that's
secure vestibule.
Yeah, vestibule, sorry. We were one of the first ones in South Carolina to have that, and we have it in all our school districts. We were one of the first ones that came across with bullet resistant glass. I mean, when it comes to safety and security, we spend money on it. That is what's important to our district. And then the last one on there is the communication and connectivity. That's, you know, that's along with technology. We've already kind of talked about that with one devices, Wi-Fi. We're one of the only districts that has the radios that tie into the sheriff's office. So that's what's important to us. Those are our kind of things. And then where have we invested our money? Quite honestly, we're starting to invest more money in our buildings in larger school space sizes. Our buildings are getting bigger. We are having more square feet per student. So we're having more breakout spaces, more collaboration spaces, larger rooms. We've already talked about efficient HVAC. We've already talked about technology and security. But to me, those are the choices that we have made. Now, there are lots of other choices, but that's where, as a board, if there's things that you want us to focus on, that you know, and maybe we need to change our focus. That's what I see that we've spent the bulk of our money on. Next one, cost comparison of Beaufort County school districts. All right, in the school cost hierarchy, you know, it moves from elementary to high. With elementaries are going to cost the least amount per square foot. High schools are going to cost the most. One of the primary drivers in high schools is, of course, athletics. On top of that are the arts and support spaces. They have more of those. We spend more money on those. The middle schools, you know, have a little less, and then elementary are quite a lot less than anything else. If you look on there, as far as cost efficiency, the standout is River Ridge Academy. It was a K-8, but it's still the cheapest of all the schools per square foot up there, including 4 elementary and early childhood. And they do not have athletics. So my point here is River Ridge Academy and May River were designed as cost-conscious schools. Their premiums, every building that you build, it's a box. It's an insulated box, and you get to choose a few niceties. At River Ridge and May River, We have a metal sloped roof, which is kind of which is a premium. And we have mechanical mezzanines up top. That's where we spent our money on maintenance items, quite honestly, to make sure that that building would last a long amount of time and still look in good shape. So those were the premiums, but we were at that time, specifically under the superintendent, we were driving cost per square foot costs. And that was our focus. We were focused solely on lowering our cost per square foot as much as possible. And that's why River Ridge Academy and May River High School are two of the most affordable buildings we've built. May River High School being a full high school at the time we built that, we told them how much we were building that school for. At that time was $298 a square foot. Everybody's, how did you do it? You know, that was unheard of. So how did we do it? Next slide. Oh, question, Leah Fraser, go ahead. And they are still good looking buildings, I'll say. They don't look like cheap buildings, but go ahead, Ms. Fraser.
So I just have a comment.
Yes,
As
ma'am.
far as like my favorite elementary school, it'll be Red Cedar.
Yeah, okay.
As far as River Ridge, as a teacher in the elementary section, the lack of lockers and cubbies in the school, in the classrooms. So if anything changes with like Ladies Island Middle School or whatever, it'd be like the small details to pay attention to.
No, you're exactly right. And when you're building a cost conscious school, you're not spending money on those niceties, and they're expensive. Cabinetry is expensive. I mean, so it's very simple. And that's what we were driven to do. And I'm very proud of what the product was that we ended up with. Because when you look at what you got out of that for a cost per square foot, it's amazing. I mean, no one thinks of it as a cheap school, but it is.
And then the way you were able to do the addition too, that was amazing.
How to do the what now?
The way you were just able to link on the additions when they were necessary.
Planned from the beginning. We knew we were add on the additions, just like we could do at Ladies Island Middle School if we add on the auditorium addition. That was all part of the original plan.
Is FF&E included in the cost? But
in those prices, yes. I mean, that's a very good question. Typically, and that's where you get, when you start comparing buildings to other districts, you go down a rabbit hole of what's in it, because a lot of times there are different numbers that are considered. But yeah, in those numbers, that's a complete package, everything involved.
Okay. Also, we're missing Robert Smalls is not on here.
We're gonna get to that. These are buildings that were already built. So it's gonna be we're gonna have it. All right. So, and so part of this is, Ms. Smith, you've been focused on the flooring at May River High School. And May River High School, River Ridge Academy was the first building that we used MCT, which is called Marmoleon tile and Marmoleon composite tile. And that's a linoleum product. And there are several reasons why we used it. One of them was cost. It was very affordable. It also, and we're going to get into this, and go ahead and go to the next slide. It is a no wax product. On top of that, it was very sound deadening. So what you're looking at here is kind of the cost per square foot over a 20-year period. And that's where like VCT is the cheapest by far at insulation. And that's been what have been in schools for years, but you have to strip and wax it every year. Stripping and waxing, stripping is a hazard. I mean, it's environmentally bad. You get trips and falls and all sorts of things. People like the shiny floors, but when you start looking at it over a 20-year period, it is the most expensive floor you could put in a building by far. And that's where MCT, since you don't have to strip and wax it, when you're looking long-term, it is a very affordable product. And that's what we were going for when we built May River High School and River Ridge Academy. Since then, we've kind of taken on and used it at others because it's got good sound deadening qualities. The problem with MCT being a linoleum natural product, it off gases over time and it actually changes colors. And what happens is, as long as it's in a room together, you don't know. It all changes at the same time. Yeah, when it's exposed to light. When you bring in even the same tile and bring it in, it's not going to work because it has not had the same light exposure. And then if you bring in a tile that comes from another batch lot or another run, we've had problems with that. What we struggled with at Mary River High School, which is the first place we've had it, is the glue that adhered the tile to the concrete. And we've had it pop up. And so we've had to replace it. So when we've replaced them, we've used up all the lots we had. It is unsightly, and that's been a problem. And what we did is we've gone to a higher end glue since Mary River High School. It allows for it to have, be able to take on more water content. And since then, we have not had that problem as bad as it's been at Mary River High School. It's been a learning process. I'd say not a lot of school districts use MCT. We're one of the few ones that do. And it was a cost conscious decision. Now you'll see on there, and I think we have on the next slide, don't we? Terrazzo. Well, go back. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Terrazzo is the most expensive by far. When you look at a 20-year timeline, it starts to level out. But if you're going to look at a 50-year timeline, nothing is going to beat Terrazzo, because 50 years from when you put it in, Terrazzo is a concrete product. So if you're thinking 50 years out, Terrazzo is the way to go. It's going to look good 50 years from now, and hold up and be, as long as you maintain it, and look beautiful. And there's lots of things you can do with it. Those are the choices you have to make. But if you're going to tell us we put Terrazzo in the front entry to Robert Smalls, we've used it in places that need focal beauty, I'd say, because it can be an eye popper. It's expensive. That's where we did all the floor inlays for Robert Smalls. I'd love to put it in all of our buildings. But if you looked at the difference, I think I have a note here somewhere. I've gotten off. It was about the difference between Terrazzo and MCT. I can't remember what school. I think at one school, maybe it was May River Elementary School, would be almost $3 million. That's a major hit. I mean, and if that is going to be the focal of what's important to the board, don't need to tell us, say, I want Terrazzo in all our schools. Okay, well, we may have to take some technology out. Oh, well, or ask taxpayers for more money. I mean, that's in the end result. I mean, then at the end, then you're going to ask the taxpayers how much. And we had that conversation when we do the community project review committees, just kind of like what is important to them. And that's a good place to feel some of those out as well. Would you pay a little extra to have nicer floors or nicer roofs? So just to end, these are some of the last projects talking about cost per square foot. There's a lot of differences here. And we've changed our model away from that cost conscious, where just the cheapest cost is what's important. Like at Robert Smalls Leadership Academy, we've done some, we spent a lot of money on the floor with the Terrazzo floor. We still have MCT in lots of other places, but where we could, we put that in. At May River Elementary School, and what's kind of a trend is and Hilton Head High School, is a lot of more higher end ceiling acoustics that add some visual. I'm rambling now, but kind of all the ceiling baffles, they look good and they help baffle the sound. Aesthetics, thank you. But that has a cost to it. So the whole point here, is look, and Hilton Head High School is one of our higher cost buildings, but that's because it's it's got renovation and everything else. Yeah. I would point out Ladies Island Middle School is going to be our highest cost by far. And one of that reasons, quite honestly, is because you're building a smaller middle school, and just on a square foot basis, it gets it gets more expensive per square foot when you build a smaller school like that. But I like this conversation. Hopefully it's been helpful. I rushed through it. What do you think?
Question. The question and the statement I made a few minutes ago when we had that last conversation, the same remains for this right here.
Yeah.
And in terms of, I sleep on this one. I'm not gonna.
No, I think you're exactly right.
I'm gonna sleep on it because I just said, I was kidding, tell me I ain't buying it.
Well, my point though here is, please, I'm looking for direction. If the board wants us to spend money on higher end floors, let us know. And we need to know that when we're in the budgeting stage. You know, one of our problems is like now we've budgeted, just not to bring it up, you know, a middle school based on our standard middle school. Now, if you start adding stuff on, to your point, we can't fit all that in. That means we got to take things out, and it means you lose things. So the time to do that is when we start budgeting referendum and we're working with that community project review committee, is to get some board input. If y'all want some things for us to focus on, let us know. I mean, we'll build whatever you want us to build. I just want to build things.
And you know, it comes down to, Robert, the truth speaking. Part of it is that we're failing the plan.
What now?
We're failing the plan. We're failing the plan.
In what way?
Because me and my grandma was at Lowe's. And I was picking up something, and she said, her question was, she said, wait, she said, actually, I said, which one do you want? And she said, how soon are you trying to come back to Lowe's? And in other words, her question was, I'm building to secure it for years, not just for the holidays. In other words, I'm not looking for looks for right now for the holidays. I'm looking to build to last.
Oh yeah.
So when I listen to some aspects and some things that we're talking about and spending the people's money strategically, and I look at even some of the buildings that we have right now, the buildings that we're tearing down, some of the quality of the buildings that we're putting up aren't equaling the buildings that we're tearing down. I mean, when you look at some of the leaks and things that we've had in the tear of the floors, some of the buildings that we've teared down have been better than these buildings that we're putting up. So all that in the plan.
I think what you may be saying, and
I said what I want to say.
Well, no,
I said what I want to say.
Okay.
I said what I want to say. Yeah, I was clear about it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just, I'll leave it there.
So you're saying we shouldn't have torn them down?
Some of them probably no.
Which one?
I won't go into that today. I'm going to conversation with that. Future topics.
All right.
Any future topics?
Minimize this.
This is a brutal meeting. And the thing is, we divided, we have a second meeting we didn't get to do yet.
You know,
Yes. Since we all are in the room, we're looking at a possible December 3rd. December 3rd. It's a Wednesday.
Oh, no, we wouldn't have.
The clock is the second.
We wouldn't have, yeah.
10th, clock is the 10th.
it would be December 3rd, anytime after 4:30, anytime after 4:30.
If we start at 4:30, then, I mean, we might get done a little
4:30 is
early.
a challenge for me.
5 o'clock?
5
5,
o'clock is better for me because I'm coming
Okay.
from Statesboro.
all right.
Now,
Do
and
you have any objections?
And you have Isaac.
I'm good with that. I'm good with the 3rd.
Mr. Small?
Yes.
Sweet, there it is, December 3rd. Table fat.
we're still gonna have 2 meetings in December is what you're saying, though. This is the first of 2.
This is the makeup for what we missed yesterday.
So then we will have another meeting later for operations.
So
Another regular operations meeting. Yes, we'll have to have.
when would you need to have that?
I mean,
Because the board meeting in December is December 9th. And that is the only board meeting in December.
so what's that next week?
So the next week after that is the week of the 15th.
And we're talking about the 16th having the
ribbon cutting. For May
Have a
River.
meeting that day? Well, that's probably too early and you wouldn't be able to make it there till later.
We have to be able to have a
All right.
meeting until 5 o'clock.
Well, we could have a meeting on the 16th.
And that information would not go into until it won't go.
Till January.
Until January.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be fine. I don't think we're gonna have anything coming out. No, that's perfect. That works.
You have operations, which would be the HR documents, and that would be December 3rd at 5 o'clock.
Correct.
Then you'll have another meeting, which would be your regular operations with construction, whatever, and that is December 16th at 5 o'clock.
Perfect.
All right.
I'm gonna text Alice, man.
Alice gave me that.
December 16th.
So actually, you can go ahead, you go ahead, don't worry about it. No, go ahead, you go ahead. No, go ahead.
5 o'clock.
All right.
That-
All right. That's gotta be one.
SIC meeting on December 4th. It will be at Okatee. Just confirm that. That's the
Okatee
joint.
Elementary,
Yes, that's the joint SIC, and we'll be sending that out this week.
what time?
It's at 6 o'clock.
Pictures.
Could we post the calendars, the calendar, I'll just leave that there. Then I'll
What you want to, I mean, we're trying to do the calendar now and we're doing December stuff now. So we'll be sending that out.
okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that'd be, yes, please, because now, yeah. So I can, yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Party objection,